Sam O'Reilly with the Fight Talk podcast. Myself and Craig today, joined by the self-proclaimed greatest boxer of all time, Richie Gray. Richie Grayweather, as he calls himself. That's like, we have to address him as Richie Grayweather. Apparently, that's the new rule. How are we, Rich?
Yeah, I was better until you started saying that. If that's what you want to call me, wait.
Richie Grayweather. No, it's good to see you, mate. Obviously, we're going to discuss absolute. It's a busy weekend of boxing.
Busy.
Some of it good.
Some of it shit.
And some other shit in between. So we're going to go through it all. A lot of questions as well sent in, so we're going to try and sum it all up as best we can.
Indeed.
Let's start with the NxtGen card. Let's start with the Facebook stream.
This is going to be... Sam's going to go on a rant. Me and Richie have got a beer. We might have to get another beer because he's going to be rambling on for a while here.
I'm very angry.
He's very, very angry.
I'm very angry. Let me tell you why.
How passionate you feel about this show you were telling me earlier.
Yeah, alright. Facebook.
Tell us, mate. Let me go.
Facebook Live, right? It's not a bad idea in a way for Sky Sports to get some of their other younger fighters and less established fighters a little bit of airtime, because I think when I was watching it, they had 1,200 people watching it, which ain't too bad. You started off with Isaac Chamberlain, right? How fucking insulting are you? Isaac Chamberlain 3 fights ago won a war against Wadi Camacho with one arm for the Southern Area title. Since then, Matchroom have held him back as much as they possibly can for the simple fact they want Lawrence Okoli to catch up so they can make a fight for Lawrence. Lawrence is on the fucking Anthony Joshua bill in 2 weeks. Isaac gets Facebook. Do you know what I mean? And he fought Ozzy Jervier, who was beaten by Wadi Camacho two weeks ago.
Can I give you some more insight onto what happened there, because it actually gets a little bit worse. That fight was over 6 rounds, and I've heard from a reliable source that it was originally scheduled to be over 8 rounds. He thought he was boxing at 7 o'clock or 7:30. He was then asked when he got to the venue, can you fight at 6:30? He wasn't ready, the hands weren't wrapped, he wasn't warmed up, he wasn't good to go, they didn't want to rush him. So they said, well, either you box at 6:30 for 8 rounds, or we're going to have to cut it to 6 rounds.
Yep.
That's the sort of treatment you get. That's the sort of respect that you get shown on that show. It's just not good enough, man. I don't know why people are sticking around, and that level of fighter on the way up, but not with Olympic pedigree or commercial endorsements or whatever else. They're getting treated like shit, man. Every single time treated like shit.
Yep.
And after we talk about Isaac, I know you want to talk a bit more, we'll go on to Craig Richards, and that's an embarrassment as well.
That's fucking horrific. The thing with Isaac, right? We had him on this podcast, 3-4 weeks ago? And he's a really nice geezer, but what he said is I use it as motivation. But he's a fucking human being.
He's not stepped a foot wrong over, is he? To be treated that way.
No, and he's a human being, and it's got to be. He's got to go. You know what? I don't know personally what he's thinking, but fuck me, you're taking the piss out of me now because you're holding me back for Lawrence Okoli to catch up so you can make this fight. That's the only fight Eddie Hearn wants for Isaac Chamberlain.
Is this in a way that they want to try and build the other guy?
Yes.
More than they want to build him.
Well, to put Okoli on the Anthony Joshua bill and put Isaac on Facebook is pure insulting.
He's one of the... when you look at the poster for that NxtGen show, he's one of the 3 main images on the poster. He's right in the front of the poster, one of the central images, and you've thrown him away. You've thrown the fight away. You've put it on Facebook at 6:30. People are still travelling back for work. There's minimal exposure. And he's the guy that you put on the front of the poster. I don't understand it. And I can see the point if he was always going to be the one that kicked off the Facebook stream. You could maybe justify that as... alright, we're trying to get people onto Facebook, Isaac will kick it off, that'll start an audience coming in, they'll all join in and watch the stream.
But it was an afterthought.
It was a fucking last minute change,
yeah. And
it's not good enough, and that's... we're kind of overlooking the fact that his original opponent was given to Hosea Button the week before.
Yeah.
I know he was studying for an opponent for a couple of weeks, looking at this boy, the Fijian boy or Samoan boy, wherever he was from. He was looking at footage, he was planning like a little game plan or whatever else. And a week before, not anymore, mate. Take him off and give him to fucking Hosea Button.
And then they find Jervier at 3 or 4 days' notice willing to take the fight. It's crazy. Rich, you said to me, who leaves Eddie Hearn? Do you know what I mean? It's very, very hard to leave Eddie Hearn when...
Yeah, you said, where does he go?
Where does he go? I mean, he'd have options. I know there's options.
Yeah, but I'm not happy about this. You want to go, you say, you go ITV, something like that. But you go ITV, they haven't got all the names. They're not going to get on as big a show. There's still bigger shows, Eddie Hearn's, regardless of whether you're being treated in the way you're not. You might get treated on average shows for a couple. Sometimes their average shows are still bigger than a big
small hall
type show.
What would you do, Richie, if you were in his circumstance and you
He
found
does need
yourself...
to speak to him about it, but he obviously needs. I think that's really what he needs to do. Speak to him about it and say, listen, I feel like, unless he knows what's happening, maybe he knows.
He knows
because he's not silly, is he?
He's not silly.
He's not silly, and if he's not happy with it, maybe he should say something. But maybe he is happy with it. Say, okay, I'll tick the boxes, just keep ticking over until that fight comes. And when I do a good job on him, I'll say, well, you wanted to do that because you wanted to try and push me out. I've done that now. Now push me out, and then I've no choice but to take him on because he's then.
Yeah, I mean, he's
played their game.
He was also told 2 fights ago he was getting a European, I think it was an IBF European shot that didn't materialise. He since fought guys that are probably below Wadi Camacho, who he beat 3 fights ago with 1 arm.
Well, they are, because Wadi Camacho beat Gervais 4 weeks ago.
Not even that. 3 weeks, 23rd of September, I think. So yeah, it's terrible. Now, Isaac wants Luke Watkins now. He wants a Commonwealth title. Luke beat Robin Dupree last week. You'd like to think that fight can get made. I don't see why Luke Watkins wouldn't fight on a Matchroom show. So that may be his best bet now. If Isaac can get the Commonwealth title, at least he has something a little bit more to say. Look, I'm not just here for Okoli. Like, stop just putting them together. People are starting to associate Isaac and Okoli, and he's not the only fucking big fight for him. There's other big fights for Isaac.
Remember we spoke to Isaac on the podcast and we asked him about the behind the gloves thing that they done, or what do you call it? Behind the gloves. And they made them sit down and do like that face-off thing that Bellew and Hay done.
Oh, they did that already?
They've done that already for a fight that's not even announced.
That's not even announced.
So we spoke to Isaac and said, why? What the fuck was going on there? And he said, I don't know, I thought it was a bit weird. They just asked me to sit and just do it.
And that tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need to know. Eddie has in his sights...
Isaac needs to beat him, and beat him well.
Yep.
And then say...
But the sooner the fight happens, the better chance
Isaac...
Move on. Yeah, I think Isaac would beat him right now. That's my personal opinion. I think if they fought tomorrow, Isaac wins.
Yeah, I don't think it's about that for any of them right now. I think right now, like you say, they're just trying to build the fight, so then there's interest in it.
That's exactly
But when Isaac beats him, then he can say, well... You did all that work, and I've won it anyway.
Yeah. But the fight, I said...
And then he's sort of he's not got a position to make demands, but he's in a position where he can say, what are you going to do now? You can't hold me back to take on another one of your growing contenders. Yeah. You have to move me on.
But do you not think that Isaac and the Okoli fight will always be there? Even if Isaac left tomorrow to go with, I don't know, this Frank Warren, for example, or ITV... If he goes and wins a couple of titles, the Okoli fight will always be there because Okoli's going to be on his path and he's going to be fast-tracked by Eddie on Anthony Joshua Bills as he constantly does. So the fight will always be there. It may not be the worst thing if Isaac left, but like you say, where does he go? He's got to have something that makes sense for him commercially and
depends how quick he can get this fight out of the way. How long they want to wait to have the fight.
I think it's good what Isaac, because Isaac in his post fights has always just been very... Yeah, I'm always learning and I'm training hard in the gym. I think the fact that he's put it on Luke Watkins a little bit and said, this is the fight I want, let's get the fight made, that puts pressure on Eddie now. Yeah. It doesn't give Eddie that free rein. If Isaac's just coming and going, yeah, I'm learning, I'm developing, Eddie can still play that game and do what he wants. If Isaac starts nailing down an opponent, I want this guy for this belt, I'm at that stage of my career, the pressure and the public pressure is on Eddie
no
to make that fight happen.
Yeah, it's a good point. Let's move on to the Spider Richards debacle. Fucking hell. Things you think from Eddie Hearn, you think Matchroom Boxing is the #1 promoter in the country, which it is on. I suppose they've got the biggest platform, Sky. They've got the biggest numbers. They do the biggest shows. They're the only ones who really can do 80,000. So in one way, they're definitely the biggest. But the way they're treating some of these boxers is fucking unreal. Let's talk about Craig Spider Richards. So he won the Southern Area title 2-3 fights ago.
It's a common theme, yeah.
It's a common theme.
Alan
Higgins, which was a controversial decision. Not everyone thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you know. Whether he won it or lost, in people's opinions, he won the fight. So he's the champ. He drops the belt, as all Matchroom fighters tend to do with these titles. And he's then given 1 or 2 lesser fights on... he fought the O2 against an Italian guy, or Portuguese maybe.
That was a tough fight.
And then what happened to him on Friday night was unreal. He was told, you're fighting at light heavyweight against Tyan Booth, who is also a career super middle, as Craig has been to this point of his career. So he's told you're going to weigh in on the same day and you're both fighting at light heavy. Cool. Tyan Booth turns up weighing middleweight. Middleweight
as in 72.
Well, I'm going to do it in pounds because you and your fucking amateurs talk. You're talking the kilos. He weighed in around 160. He had jeans on and money in his pockets because he was trying to weigh as heavy as he could. So the fight was cancelled on the day. You can say, okay, it's not Matchroom's fault, Tyan shouldn't come in, but I'm telling you that wouldn't happen to any of their other fucking, the people they really care about.
But why is it being left to that day? That's what I don't get it. Like, why is that being left until that day?
Someone knew that was going to happen, building up to that.
How hard can it be?
He must have known.
Yeah.
Looking at your weight, thinking I've got to weigh this much in this many days, and I'm massively under or massively over. You know, you've got to say something to someone or do something about it.
Well, he's a fucking idiot anyway. To be fair, Time Booth.
He's a fucking idiot. But then Spider Richards is outside the venue giving his ticket money back to people and stuff. And someone said to me, "No, you're not." It's either Peter Sims or one of his teammates. You know, fuck this. That ain't fair on you. I'll fucking stand outside and give it back. It's not. Can you imagine? Any of Eddie's fucking his favourite standing outside York Hall giving people their money back? How insulting is that? I don't know. Whether you like Spider, whether you think he's a great fighter, whether it doesn't matter. You don't treat people like that, and that wouldn't happen to any other of Eddie's stars. That's my opinion.
It's not professional, is it? It's not professional. And we like him. He's a good guy.
I like him a lot. I think he's a really nice guy.
Don, all the boys in that team as well, but it's just not good enough, man. It's not good enough, and for me, I understand matchmaking can be difficult. Kev Campion, shout out Kev Campion, who works with Goodwin Boxing, put a status on earlier on, talking about matchmaking and how it can be really, really hard. And I'm sure it can at that level, but at Matchroom's level, how hard can it be to find somebody that's super middleweight?
Mistakes like that.
It's just...
Yeah, even Matchroom's hard, they shouldn't be making weight mistakes like that.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem right. It seems like they've left it. I will sort it in the last week, don't worry, we'll get somebody in the last week. Where's Time Booth? He's floating about somewhere on the piss? Probably. He's
out there justifying drink driving on an IFL interview again, maybe.
Fucking
who knows?
Idiot, man.
But I don't know, it's just bollocks. And the next gen concept, I really liked it 6-9 months ago. It's now become a joke.
It's just a JD money spinner.
It is, because the TBAs that they always have in the last week are just constant. You know, we're not even going to go into detail on Ted Cheeseman. Again, won the English title 2 fights ago. Has fought now 2 guys with losing records since winning the English title and then dropping it. What does that achieve? I don't know. There's obviously something in their head that it achieves, but maybe we should talk about the boxing, because I'm so angry at this fucking piece of shit that we're being thrown. It's just...
You sure? We've only done 12 minutes of moaning about the...
Is that what we've done?
You promised me 20 minutes of it earlier. So.
Alright, Charlie Edwards. Alright, let's go. Charlie Edwards was the British champion up until, 2 weeks ago?
War Matt Chanda.
Matt Chanda became his mandatory challenger. And it was a good fight that was due to take place on this bill. The next gen was going to be it was going to be headlined by Charlie Edwards for the British title against Matt Chanda. Matt Chanda's a good lad. He's made a career in small hall and got himself to mandatory for the British title. They decide to vacate the title. I don't know why. Craig, you tell me why. You told me why, and I still think it's bollocks.
No, I don't fucking know why. This is my reasoning behind why. So it was spoken about that Charlie Edwards was looking at a European title shot. You said, or the point that you boys made in the WhatsApp group, the Fight Talk WhatsApp group. Great little group in it. Banter.
Why am I not?
Fight Talk enough.
You are now, mate. You are now. You're a contributor. But the point that you boys made was, wouldn't you have been better ticking over and having a British title defence as opposed to fighting Craig Derbyshire,
who was 5-22?
Who's 5-22? My point was, if there is a European title shot lined up for, say, the Monte Carlo bill, or a bill that's maybe a month away or whatever, perhaps he vacated that title and avoided that fight with Matt Chanda so that he could avoid any sort of injuries or a cut or a neck or anything that would put that fight into jeopardy. So that was my point. If he takes a fight with Derbyshire, it's a comfortable fight. It's not a risky fight. And then if there is a European shot lined up, he's still in a good physical condition to go and try and claim that belt. That was my point, and you told me I was talking shit on various occasions.
I said get your tongue out of Hearn's arse is what I said.
But Rich, that makes sense to you, Richie? What do you think?
Well, that he's vacated the title because he thinks he can get opportunity in another title.
He's going to get the European title shot.
He's going to get it, or he's got it though.
It's going to happen, isn't it? Listen, it's got Eddie Hearn's money behind it. He's going to get the European title.
The only reason to vacate a title like that, I think I was talking to someone else about this, winning titles and then vacating them straight away. I feel like you'd want to defend it as a couple of times. Even if you feel like you've got a tough fight, you might think, well, I've just won it. I wouldn't just win the title and then vacate straight away unless you've been given another option. I wouldn't win the title, vacate to fight.
That was my point.
To fight just anyone. You vacate the title to move to a bigger title, or you keep the title, defend it until you get offered something bigger. You need to defend it 7 times.
Yeah.
Not that he's going to need to do that because he'll get moved on quick in that, but don't vacate the title until you're definitely got it. If he's got it, I would understand that you vacate it because you think, even if they say, right, you might fight for the European title, Adolphe Hearn did it, vacated his Southern area because he got offered a European, then it got messed about, but he only vacated because he got given that offer.
Yeah.
It didn't end up coming till 7 months later or something like that. So it doesn't always end up being clear until
definitely.
Until after.
But at Matchroom's level, you know what I mean. How can you give up your British title and then have a tick over fight for a European? Is my problem with it, because Charlie Edwards has fought for a world title before. Do you know what I mean? He's not a guy who's on the come up and has nicked a title and then gone. He's there. I do not ignorance. I don't know who the European champion is, but I'd imagine Charlie Edwards wins. But do you need to then have a tick over fight for that when you're the British champ? Matt Chandler is now going to fight Jay Harris for the vacant title, I believe.
Good fight.
But I just don't understand it. Me personally, I know what you're saying. It's a less risky fight before the European. Is the European title that much better than the British title? That I don't know.
After I made that point about the European shot potentially being in the background, Adam Booth started talking about WBA international shots and stuff like that. So it might not even be that it's a European title shot.
It
so
might be an international.
It could just be that it's a poor decision and it's looking at an easy option.
We'll soon find out. It will become clear. I think Charlie Edwards was very good. There's not a massive pool of fighters at the weight.
No. But it's been said that he dodged Selby as well, innit? He stepped up.
Andrew Selby.
Yeah, he stepped up to avoid a fight with Andrew Selby.
Yes or no? Listen, I've met Charlie Edwards once. Seemed like a nice fella.
Yep.
I also struggled with the term that fighters dodge other fighters. I think a lot of guys would fight anyone, but it's management.
It's not always their choice. It's not always their choice.
It's not, and you know this.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
That's a big point, because most fighters will fight anyone. That's what they do. They look at their weights and you think, right, I feel like I can beat everyone in this division. Obviously, you'll know right when I get to that it's going to be hard, but you're not going to say no to these fights because you already think you're going to beat them. It's only going to be your manager or your trainer that's going to say, listen, why are you choosing to fight war after war after war when we could, right, we'll win that one, you're going to get the credit and your respect you deserve, then we'll tick over, and then when you get something that's worth it, kind of thing, you're going to offer me this ridiculously hard fight when I've just had one when really I could do with just ticking over, and then when the prize is bigger. So you're going to make me defend my title for a fight that's just as hard as one I just had, and you're going to have 4 or 5 super hard fights, and sometimes the fighter will always choose that when that's the manager's job to say. That's when the manager's job is to say, listen, you've just won the title, and it was a hard fight. You don't need to have another war straight away. So we'll take a lesser fight, if you like, just to bring you on a bit more. Then we'll take another hard fight. Because you can, but what's the point in fighting opponent after opponent that's really hard every single time when you can learn sometimes from these gaps in between?
One of the things I wanted to ask you was, I'm trying to word this properly. I spoke to you about it last night, Sam. Guys who fight, say you've had 8 or 9 fights against boys who have got losing records, whether they're from abroad or whether they're home fighters, like UK based fighters, they've all got really bad losing records, and you fight 8 guys who are of the same sort of level in a row. You've got an 8-0 record. Do you feel that people would be further on in their career than if you just fought 3 guys like that? Because for me, looking at that, you're having the same fight. I know it's different styles, but you're having the same level fight over and over again. So what do you think about that?
I think it's more about building up your tolerance to the rounds than the opponent. So you can't, to fight some of these other contenders, no one wants to see you get a great fight, you think this would be a great fight, and then someone goes, well, he's only ever done 2 4-rounders. You can't stick him in a 10 round straight away.
Yeah.
It's a big risk. So I think it's more about, and no one wants to see this big fight just over 6 rounds. It's such a great fight, you'd rather see it over 8 rounds or 10 rounds. So I think more about fighting these away fighters or journeyman, whatever way you want to call them, it's more about building the tolerance up to the rounds. And especially these foreign fighters that come over, I think some of these, they get losing records because they're not getting results. Some of them come very close, and they just don't get a result.
We see it a lot.
There's different types of journeymen, and there's journeymen and there's away fighters. You've got these English ones, 150 losses.
Christian Late. Yeah,
people like that, they come, they give you a hard time, but you're probably going to get a win. Whereas some of these foreigners that come over, they're not coming over to lose. They come over to win. They just don't get wins. Yeah. They're not that. Some of them are not that great. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are just whack. But they're willing to have a fight, and they do come to try and have a fight and win. They just don't get results because they're not very well schooled. So you are learning from these fights, but they're not typical stand-up, jab and move boxers because they're just raw. But they are tough and they are there to win and to get the rounds. And I do think it's worth it.
Yeah. Talking about away,
not too many.
Talking about away fighters, we watched on the NxtGen show. We watched it earlier, Rich. That may be the worst fight I've ever seen made for an 18-year-old kid on television.
Risk. It was just a risk.
William Webber was stopped by, I think his name's Eric Israel.
Eric Israel, trained by Michael Ballingall, good guy.
Yeah, good man. That was his debut, right? So you're essentially putting an 18-year-old kid on television against a man you know nothing about. Because he said in his post-fight...
From another country as
he
well,
didn't
so
even... Yeah,
you don't even know what he's done at home.
He's only been in England 6 or 7 years, I believe, he said. His family doesn't know he fights. A crazy story. I think he came over... I don't know the details, but at the end of the day, you don't know enough about him to put him against your 18-year-old kid. And it fucking backfired massively because Eric Israel stopped William Webber.
Man strength is such a big deal in this kind of sport. Such a big deal. And you can be... That's why they say the difference between the amateurs. I think junior boxing and senior boxing, and then senior boxing and pro boxing, they're all 3 different things. You can be a super amateur boxer, but some of these guys, like that guy, just got man strength, not really a good boxer, just hits really hard, takes a good whack, and unfortunately, you
in them little gloves as well, you know,
little tiny gloves, big puncher. You don't have to be a good boxer. Over 10 rounds, all you got to do is catch them once, and that, I think, it's just too much of a risk, especially someone you don't know.
Crazy. I watched that, and I was, when I found out on Friday, because I was at work, and
had anyone seen him spar or anything?
Yeah, I know.
Had anyone seen him spar? His boxing wasn't great, but they must have looked at him and thought, he's big and strong. Like he's a man.
He's a big
He's a man.
geezer.
He's not a boy. He was a man, and it was a man. I said it to you. I was watching. I think that is a man against a boy. Yeah. And he looks all right. He's got all the moves, but he's getting bullied. Like he's just strength took over.
Well, we've seen that on the Saturday night Groves Cox card as well on a couple of occasions, which we'll touch on. And it's right. It's just physical maturity. I think sometimes plays a bigger part than you would like to think.
We know how difficult matchmaking is, but sometimes you come unstuck. You make the wrong one. I'm sure the matchmaker will look at that and go, "Shit, I got that wrong. I got that badly wrong."
There's no one. I don't know if it's anyone's fault that though, because they say he's had no fights. You know what it's like as a novice.
Did they do their due diligence? Did they look at him and spar? Did they go, "He's a fucking unit. He's 27 years old. He's been through some hardship in his life. He's come out of another country. I can't remember what country he said, but he's been through some serious shit in his life."
But can they watch him spar? Like,
of course you can. Are you going to put a fighter on your card without knowing who the
fuck
they've been in with?
You can watch whoever you want to spar.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
they just thought he's raw. He's a novice. He might be a man. It'll look good when our boy beats him because all these fans will think, "Oh, look, he beat this big geezer, muscly geezer. Look really strong, and our mate beat him up." But in reality, when you got man strength, which is what happened, it's not boxing skill. But when you actually get up close and the ring's actually a lot smaller than you think, and you get hit.
But I wonder when that fight was made. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. We're talking about these things being so last minute. I wonder when that Eric Israel was phoned and said, "Do you want to take this fight?" I wouldn't be surprised if there was something easier lined up and it fell through, or there was nothing lined up and he was one of the only ones.
Something easier though. It's not really this. Can you pick an easier fight than someone who's never had a fight? And then it's just not knowing. It's just not knowing.
Yeah, someone's 2 and 35, and probably on the record, you'd think I'd rather put him in with him than an untested, unbeaten, no fights, no. I'd probably go with a guy who's won 2 and lost 30 odd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like Richie makes a good point. It is the unknown. The guy that you're going in with who's had no fights could end up having a 0-32 record. Do you know what I mean? You just don't know.
But eliminate the risk, wouldn't you? I'd eliminate the risk personally if I'm the.
It looks better for him to beat someone that's not beaten. I know he's never won, but he's never lost either. So to beat someone like that looks better than perhaps he wanted to look better than beating someone who's had 150 losses, 4 wins.
So what you're saying is I could get a call off Matchroom at any time.
Maybe, yeah.
Never been in a pro ring. I'm gonna sit by the phone.
But
when's this super heavyweight coming in? I'm hearing there's a super heavyweight coming in. I'm gonna go the first. Don't worry. I'll fight Bada Bean. Alright, we're going to actually talk about the boxing on it. We're just going to keep slagging it.
Listen, the main event was good.
Oh wait, Natasha Jonas knocked out a PE teacher.
Fuck off, who cares? Why is she on the card? Why is she on TV?
Why is Harlem Eubank on TV?
Who the fuck is Harlem Eubank?
What is he? Is he just changed his name, or is he actually legit one
cousin?
of Eubanks? Is he a brother? Is he another son?
Didn't I read he is actually a cousin?
I think he's a cousin.
He's a cousin.
It's all a bit weird, isn't it?
It's all a bit weird.
The Eubanks are popping up everywhere.
He won his debut in a hotel in Brighton, and now he's fighting on Sky. Isaac Chamberlain didn't make Sky. I'm leaving that out there. Fuck that.
It's just weird, isn't it? It's just weird. Jonas on TV is weird for me as well.
No, you're not. Why? Because Katie Taylor needs an opponent down the line. Natasha Jonas is the same way. Here you go. I'm going to keep building her, and I'll throw them together. It's the exact same situation.
But the women's division
This ain't accidental.
It's not, of course it ain't.
The women's division's so weird because all they keep doing, Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor and Jonas, they just keep beating up the same birds. Don't they? They just keep rotating birds. I go, who the fuck? I've heard Kapinska before.
Yeah.
Oh, she got a face punched in off 2 other people from the UK as well. It's just the same women.
Do you reckon they just bring them over and they just stay in a house and you'll be up in a couple of months? You'll fight.
Well, listen, apparently that happens with some journeymen. Yeah. Some promoters will put people up in a house, like 4 or 5 guys.
Well, there's that many events nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Make some money.
I heard this other day, something like someone bringing them over for 4 months and saying, this is your schedule. This is your schedule for the next 4 months. You're going to come home with this much money.
I'll tell you what it was a New Age boxing podcast. I think it was Terry Chappendammer that made the point.
Yeah.
The knowledge, fucking Spencer Fearing. Terry Chappendammer's the knowledge. Yeah.
If you don't know, get to know. It's all about Big Tell.
And he made that point, exactly what you said, Richie, that they bring them over and they get work for a solid couple of months.
It's not a bad idea, is it?
No. And actually, that leads me on to one of the questions, which is from Terry, ironically, around journeymen. And what he asked was, are there journeymen right now who are earning more than prospects? Because there must be some well-paid journeymen. The Seven Wolves boxing. Good question. Richie, in your experience?
Again, it depends on the ticket sales and the popularity of the boxer. The thing is with the journeyman, they can fight. They could fight 4 times a month. And in that case, yes, they will get paid more. Well, alright, for example, if I sell good tickets on one of my fights, I might get paid $5,000. If you sell enough tickets, you might get paid $5,000.
Yeah.
And I've only had to do 1 fight. He has to do 4 fights, and he's going to get $1,000 a fight or something.
Yeah.
But
you're a good ticket seller.
I couldn't. Yeah, but that's because I sell good tickets. Yeah, if you're selling average tickets, let's say your standard amount, you're not going to make as much as them. You're going to get paid the same as them, except they're going to fight 4 times in the month. You're going to fight once every 2 months.
Can you
you can't sell that many tickets every single week.
Yeah.
Can you shed a bit of light on, not you personally, but for example, if I was a boxer and I sold 100 tickets.
Tickets was £35. Most people have changed them to 40 now.
Right.
So from £40 tickets, you get 100. From £40, you get 100 tickets. That's $4,000 worth of tickets.
Yep.
The promoter's likely to get $3,000 of that.
Wow.
And that he pays the opponent out of that.
The opponent gets paid.
The opponent will pick up $1,000, won't he?
Yeah, it's a 4-rounder. You'll get $1,000.
Opponent gets $1,000.
Opponent gets or 1,200,
yeah,
and something like 2.5, whatever it works out.
Yeah. And
then you're left with your £1,200, which you've then got to pay your manager and your trainer.
So boxing on a small hall show in that sort of scenario is, consider you only have a fight once every 2 or 3 months.
Think of it like this though: if you only sell 70 tickets, this is the order it goes. Out of the money you sell your tickets and you get, the first person to get paid is your opponent. The second person to get paid is the promoter. So if you only sell £10 worth more of tickets, opponent gets paid, promoter gets paid, you get £10. You'll be the last one to get paid. So you'd think right, take your cut out, and then you can pay the opponent, and if there's anything left, the manager. They don't work like that. It's opponent first. If you've got a really nice promoter that you're on, he might say, listen, no, you ain't sold many tickets.
I know Goodwin's done that.
I'll take only half the house money, and you can have a little bit. But in reality of it, opponent, house, you.
So, in answer to Terry's question, it really is dependent on how many tickets you sell, then, isn't it? And
depending on how regular you want to fight as a journeyman. So for me,
Christian Lake fights every week. He's going for that record. Apparently, he's got he wants 300 fight, which is why he doesn't really tend to fight anymore. That's
and
the
if
truth.
It's 4 or 6s,
he walks forward with his gloves up because he's earning money every single week. Curtis Gargano, I spoke to him on Twitter about it. I think he's 0. He's a top man. I love him. He's like 0 and 35 now. He's definitely won a couple of them fights, but it just hasn't been given. And he said, look, while I'm enjoying it, I have fun in there, and I'm earning for my family. Like if he picks up say £900 minimum of a weekend, he's nicking nearly $4,000 a month.
See, for some of these journeymen, they do a 4-rounder. I think they get like 1,200. I think they have to pay. They do have to pay someone something out of that.
Yeah.
Some sort of corner man, maybe a bill of some sort, and then they're left with, like you say, £900. But £900, there you go, cash, just done.
Can't go wrong.
You can do that 4 times a month, but it depends. I reckon it obviously depends on who you're boxing, because there are different types of journeymen. There's 4-rounder ones, and there's 6-round.
Yeah.
And you've got your 8-round.
Your 8-rounder boys.
You know, some of the boys that do 4 rounds wouldn't be able to do 8 rounds because the level of opponent doing 8 rounds is a lot tougher.
Yeah. No, it's a good
Cheers,
point.
Tel. Thanks for the question. She's got plenty more questions, so we'll come back to them.
It's because they're all pissed up. They're not doing their own pod this week.
Yeah, they were at Oktoberfest. So what they did last week was they took the piss out of us for not pressing the record button properly.
Well, we did press it. Right, right, let me just get this out of the way. Right, my fucking computer did an update. It uninstalled the app that runs the microphone. I'm a dickhead and didn't check it correctly. We recorded an hour, and then I proceeded to cry when I realised it wasn't on there.
He was so angry. I knew it was bad because he started wearing fucking sunglasses indoors. He was just crying next to the computer.
Oh dear.
It was a tense atmosphere in the O'Reilly household. Richie Gray's holding the sunglasses, he's giving them back. Just when we try and play the audio back. Just
Let's hope this fucking records. Jesus Christ.
I don't know who's there. I found them in my car the other day.
They're alright.
I hope your missus don't listen to this.
Yeah, Jonas, who cares, man? I'm not really that stressed about that. Belotti against Cunningham. I enjoyed that fight. Cunningham looked good. Didn't look strong, but was out boxing and catching Reece Belotti with some clean shots. He was throwing those uppercuts. Straight left hand as well. Was catching Belotti and knocking his head back and forward. And then Belotti just came on very strong in the 4th round, I think it was, and stopped Cunningham. But I thought it was quite a good fight. Interesting matchup. Anybody watch it?
No.
You're both looking at me.
I
as
watched
always.
bits.
Okay.
I watched bits today, sitting there. And
I went and
I think it
picked
was
up
like
Craig
round.
from the stations and I didn't watch any.
He was texting while I watched drifted in and out of round 2 and 3.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
What do you think of round 2 and 3? The bits you've seen. Belotti look vulnerable to you.
I was discussing with the boys in there which one was Belotti and which one was
Enough said.
After explaining who was who, I looked back and the bell had gone. So
That was for the Commonwealth strap, which Cunningham had, obviously, when he was stopped. Good stoppage for me. But just to recap, Reece Belotti obviously is one of these guys who's trying to make his way through. He's probably the one that's benefited most from the NxtGen setup.
Yeah,
He's got a WBC international title, he's got a Commonwealth title, he's always on one of the bigger bills, and he always seems to get a lot of plaudits from his performances. So
Yeah.
Belotti's doing alright, but from what I've seen, Belotti's there to be beat. You know, he was eating shots, he was taking a lot of shots, and he's a pressure fighter, he comes forward, but you know, he's there to get hit as well. And I think when he takes that next step, I think, you know, you could probably see him get beat.
what weight was that at?
Is he like he's
something fair.
round feather? I think. Yeah, round feather. He's quite light. I've seen him a few times. He was on what was that bill called? Summertime Brawl. He fought Jamie Spate. Do you remember?
Yep.
Battered
Jamie Spate.
Jamie Spate. I like Jamie Spate.
I like Jamie Spate, good guy.
He coincidentally lost to another Goodwin fighter last night. Yusuf Kamari went 2-0
Yep.
on a Groves Cox bill. But yeah, no, listen, Belotti's a good fighter. He's probably one of the only ones who's benefited from NxtGen, to be honest with you. He's been given the shots that no one else seems to be getting on these.
Yep.
So the way it all works out, he's probably learned from it the most, I guess. But I don't know how far it'll go. Time will tell. James round 8 says he rates him a lot. He thinks he'll go far. Time will tell. You know what level we can reach.
And that was the NxtGen card. So just to follow on from the NxtGen card, a couple of matchroom related questions that we can probably squeeze in here. One from Paul Altai, legend Paul Altai, and he's part of the trio.
No, there's a foursome, man. You're missing.
Is it 4?
Yeah, it's 4. We got 4 soldiers that always got our back.
Who?
You got the shifty one.
Oh, the shifty's always on
Ray.
ball.
Yeah, mate. Honestly,
Paul Altai,
Paul,
the 2 Robs,
Rob Martin, Rob Cass,
hustlers,
these
man.
boys, Rich. You won't even know they are, right? I know you're a boxer and you've got your own fans. We've got our own fucking fans too. Don't worry about that.
All the fans.
When people give it to us on Twitter, we don't even have to do the work sometimes. He's like, fuck off, fight talk, boys. They're proper, man. Don't worry about them. So, yeah, don't go unnoticed, boys.
Although if we were on a ticket deal, we probably wouldn't make that much money.
Yeah, we have
We'd sell
4 of
4.
them. Yeah, and Rich would pay, I'm sure. Rich.
Yeah.
But Paul's
You can all subscribe.
Yeah.
Paul's question was, has Anthony Joshua managing fighters and making sure those fighters get shots on his bills limited the opportunities for other matchroom fighters?
Fucking hell, you didn't tell me about this one before we went live.
Well, yes, I want to put you on keep you on your toes, mate.
Repeat that.
So
Repeat
Anthony Joshua obviously manages Joshua Boazzi, he manages Lawrence Okoli, he's their manager.
Is it him personally or his management group? Like
Yeah, I didn't
Freddie
know anything
Cunningham?
about this.
You didn't? Yeah,
Oh, you don't know
Boazzi-
that? Yeah, that's
Mhm.
legit. So AJ Boxing, but he is down as their manager.
Crazy, isn't it? He's a money making machine now.
Yeah,
Joshua.
I can imagine that he's more got a team around him doing it, and they're using his
Yeah,
name.
I'm sure.
He's too busy doing his own thing. He's got probably loads going on.
But does that limit, what Paul's question was, does that limit the chances for other matchroom fighters or other fighters, I guess, to fight on these bills because they get in on the AJ train, if you like?
Not for me. Just hearing it, I'll tell you why. Dillian White's on it, right? And Dillian White and Anthony Joshua don't like each other. I think Anthony Joshua's intelligent enough to know that you need people on the card who are spoken about. If your pay-per-view is going to do numbers, you need people like Joshua Buatsi, probably the highest touted Olympian from Rio, right? Okoli, we all know he's knocking people over, so he's getting the plaudits.
Yeah.
So, me personally, no. And if the promoter believes in him enough, he's going to put him on anyway. He's going to say, look, this is a good for example, when Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora fought on Anthony Joshua's bill, it didn't come into play that they don't like each other. Came in that it's a good fucking fight. So does it work the other way that you... he's got them on there because they're his mates, but they're also well-touted Olympians. So.
Yeah, that was my point, and the point I was going to make was that it's not riff-raff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Buatsi and Okoli, even though we think Chamberlain would beat Okoli, or he's got his frailties, but they're good level fighters as well. So I think they're the kind of guys you want to see on bills like that.
He's going to pick the right fighters, isn't he?
Yeah.
He wants to manage.
Yeah, he can do what he wants, can he? He can do what he wants.
Mate, I can't walk... Where I'm working at Liverpool Street Station, I walk from the sign-in desk to my fucking site. I see Anthony Joshua's face 4 times. He's doing Lynx, he's doing Lucozade, he's doing Under Armour, and he's doing Westfield. He'll never have to fight again, mate. He's fucking rolling.
Is he doing Fight Talk podcast?
He's
No,
not.
he's
Yeah,
not.
he's
Exactly,
not
Richard.
quite there
That's all
yet.
that matters. Keep working, Anthony. You'll get there, mate.
He's doing Lynx, he's doing Westfield, and Tyson Fury's doing hundreds of drugs. So we, it's a good question though. It's a good point, but I think the guys that he's got in his stable,
They're big enough to...
yeah, they're good enough.
They're big enough to command it. I think that's the truth of it.
We touched on Dillian Whyte there. Another question from Paul as well while we're on the subject. Dillian Whyte fighting Robert Helenius has just been announced for a WBC silver title, I believe, on the AJ bill. Helenius, Richie, for you, is that a good scrap?
I haven't seen much of him anyway.
No. He's a big lump.
I haven't seen him for years, mate. He was... I remember the Derek Chisora fight where he was given a decision for the European title. Chisora beat him handily and was given a decision to Helenius. It was in was it Finland or somewhere like that? It's that many years ago, but Helenius ain't really done a lot since, has he really?
No.
Listen, Dillian needed an opponent. We are 2 weeks out from the fight, and Dillian has been scraping around trying to get an opponent. He wanted Brazil. He wanted anyone. Dillian Whyte is a fighting man. He will fight anyone. They finally got him someone. Helenius, half decent name, former European champion, obviously. Has he fought for a world before?
No,
never fought for a world.
which is strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think he would have got the shot at one of the Klitschko's after he beat Chisora, and it turned out Chisora got the Vitali fight off it. But he's been around, and on 2 weeks' notice, I don't think you can ask for better. Like, do you know what I mean?
He ain't a donut, is he?
Nah.
Richie reading his record. He ain't a donut, is he?
He ain't silly, is he?
He used to have silly hair. I think he got rid of that. He used to have a fucking blonde.
What's left of it?
Yeah.
He looks like a
the
fucking
state of it.
he
Bobby
looks
Charlton's
like-
son.
He looks like a fucking character for Game of Thrones, doesn't he? Look,
He does look a bit like a mountain, doesn't he? Or a fucking dog or something.
he's a weird looking big character.
He is.
Decent pedigree, Helenius. I think he's been quite
Who's he boxed in
inactive.
the last few years?
I don't think he's fought that much.
Nah, he's fought no one's, mate. Let's look. He lost to Duhapis. He ain't fought no one. The Derek Chisora fight was back in 2011, like I said, 6 years ago, and he lost that fight then. I don't expect much. But Helenius, what else are you going to get on 2 weeks' notice, man?
Is Dillian Whyte suffering the same fate as Isaac Chamberlain and Craig Richards? He's a bigger name. He's a bigger profile. But is he suffering the same way those boys are
I
suffering?
don't think he'll accept it.
No.
I don't think he'll accept it. I don't think he'll let people play games with him.
But he didn't have an opponent 2 weeks away from a big pay-per-view fight, is my point. So
It's a different situation because at least his name is always in Eddie Hearn's mouth. Do you know what I mean? He's always talking and he's doing his little call-outs to Deontay and that. Do you remember that?
I can only see him letting that happen a couple of times before he goes, I don't need any. I can still get fights.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who I'm with, I can still get big names.
Yeah.
So if you do not provide what I want, I will go somewhere else because Dylan White, everyone knows who he is now, so he hasn't got to do that hard work now, is he? Really, he just needs the fights.
Yeah.
He's not got to do no more profile building, is he?
no.
No, I agree.
Keep his profile up, but doesn't have to do any more building. Really, he can go to anywhere as long as they're getting in the right fights. Then he's going to build his career.
I think
That's what
Eddie
really
is the man who will get him the world title fight. It's been a bit of a weird situation. AJ now has 2 of the belts.
Who's he going to fight and beat at world level?
I think he beats Joseph Parker after that Huey Fury fight. I thought
Yeah.
Joseph Parker was pretty poor, and I think
Average,
Dillian
isn't it?
Whyte. Yeah, I think Dillian Whyte could beat him. Even if he doesn't beat him, he will give him a tougher fight than.
It's a fair level fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's all you can ask to put him in. I'd probably call that a 50-50 maybe. It's definitely not swayed in anyone's
Can't see him beating
favour.
Wilder or Joshua. Obviously, Joshua's gone on now.
Yeah, that's where it becomes difficult. They
Because-
offered a lot of money to Wilder, like 3 million, 3-4 million.
For
for Dillian to fight Wilder, and he
Dillian
turned
to
it down. Yeah, he's been
Wilder turned that down.
Yeah.
turned it down. Yeah, because he said, "I want Joshua only from your stable. That's it, only Joshua."
Don't you think it'd be good for Wilder's profile just to come over and demolish him in
This
front of
was
everyone
the
and
point.
then say, I don't care about the money. It's not about the money. It's about now. Because obviously we know he is, but does everyone know who Wilder is?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he fought Malcolm Tan.
And
it might help with his profile to come here just to smash someone up. And people that don't know him will look at his record and go, regardless of who he's boxed, if he knocks him out, people will go, "Wow, who's this guy?" And he's got this glamorous record, and they say, and then people will start saying, "He should fight Joshua."
But now he's going to fight Stavern again. The only fight I think he ever went the distance. Am I right? Or has he been? It's a shit fight. He was going to fight Luis Ortiz, who's now failed another drug test. So he's fighting Stavern again, who's
big punch bag.
Yeah, he's a bag of pulp. He's just there to be hit.
Poor Luis Ortiz,
I see that
man.
first fight.
Poor Luis Ortiz. What? Because he keeps getting caught for doing the drugs? Is that
No, because he's 67 years of age and he's still fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Cubans, mate, they'll go on a bit.
Don't you fucking start.
So he does love a Cuban, Craig.
I know this is random, but that Mike Perez popped up recently.
Yeah.
And I see him years ago in Prize Fighter.
Yeah.
I thought he's good, this guy. He disappeared for years.
Yep.
And he's just reappeared.
At cruiserweight.
At Cruiser.
Just disappeared off the
That
face of the earth.
4
and come
stone
back.
lighter.
Do you know why?
When I see him at the time, I thought, because he blitzed. I think he went in Prize for like 4 fights or something.
Yeah.
I beat everyone up, and then I was like, wow, this guy's going to go somewhere. And then he just disappeared.
He fought a guy and left a guy in like a coma with brain damage and stuff like that. And I think after that, his head wasn't in the
Didn't
game,
fancy
man.
it anymore, yeah.
He fought Povetkin and Povetkin fucking battered him in a round. And after that, he just fell out of boxing and then came back as a cruiserweight, as a ripped cruiserweight, and fought for the world title against Bradis a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think I see
World
some,
Super Series of Boxing.
Managed Bradis, and that was an awful fight again.
I didn't watch it. I did commentating it.
Terrible fight. But yeah, Mike Perez has got a bit of longevity still going on. I think
I'm not saying he is or isn't world level up there,
Yeah.
but I just
Cuban came to
pops my
mind.
mind. The Cuban
Yeah,
came
yeah.
to mind. I thought he looked well promising at the start, didn't he?
Yeah, he was so good. He was blasting people, especially in prize fire. He was quality.
Before we move on, I need another beer.
Let's do it.
Let's move on. World Super Series of Boxing, the St. George Groves. Let's talk about the undercard first.
It's actually the World Boxing Super Series.
What
not
do I say?
World Super Series of Boxing.
It's all the same words. I didn't get a word wrong. I just fucking put them in a different order.
Yeah,
I
but
chill out a bit.
people might go onto like the wrong websites and shit as a result of
I
your
don't think they're
misinformation.
that important that this is their only route to finding the World Boxing Super Series website.
No, it's got to be this because Sam O'Reilly said it. You ring up the company.
I'm
Your
gonna phone
website's
Callum.
wrong. Sam O'Reilly said it.
Alright, we're going to re-christen it. What did I say? World Super Series of Boxing.
Yeah.
And it's World Boxing Super...
Yeah.
Is that not just the same? Is it not much of a muchness, really?
No, the syntax is completely different.
I don't know what that means, but alright. Let's
order.
go.
It means the order of text or numbers. So,
Does it?
Yeah.
You're the writer, I'm not. I can barely speak. Let's talk about the undercard. We spoke earlier, Yusuf Kamari got a win against Jamie Spate.
Yep, decent level.
Oh boy, Dino Richardson.
Savage.
Ruining heads as he does. 5 fights, now 5 knockouts at 21, 22 years
It's
old.
a real
whatever he is.
shame that he wasn't on the TV.
When you consider some of the fights that made it to the
That
pay-per-view.
surprises me, yeah, because there are other boys I know that was on the TV.
Yeah.
And he's a good ticket seller, Dino. So I don't know why he didn't make the pay-per-view. It's a shame for his profile.
He's been on some wicked shows, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That's his second time at Wembley Arena. He
It was
fought
on Groves Goodneck.
Groves Goodneck last November. Sorry. So yeah, he's been on the good shows.
Looked really good. The thing about him that I'm really impressed with is obviously he's got knockout power, but he holds his hands up high and he uses his guards so impressively as well. You know, he doesn't take much punishment. You know, it might look as though a boy's throwing a lot of shots at him, but the way he uses his hands, and he's very, very good defensively as well. But
I think more than his power is his shot selection.
yeah, he takes his time. He doesn't rush in.
I think he picks them well, and that's what's getting him stoppages.
And he has great feet. You know, being in that camp with John O'Donnell, he's picked up a few things, man. He's got very good feet.
Great performance last night. Second round knockout. Still 100% knockout ratio. Yeah.
You don't see that from many fucking light middles, do you?
Nah. That for me is when you're fighting, even if you're fighting as an introductory level against these guys, these journeymen, if you're knocking every single one of them out, that's when you start to go, is he a class apart?
Mm-hmm.
Because people go to points, and boys like Linus Adolphe goes to points. Richie, you've went to decisions with guys in tough fights as well. If you're knocking everybody out, you start to... Well, I guess there's two sides to that coin.
There's two sides. You could say, who's he been in with?
Or how would he be over the distance?
Yeah,
you
which is
start
the
questioning
next step, I guess. I don't know when you take the step. You put him in... He's had... I think it's not last night, but the one before was a 6-rounder. It didn't make it there. But I suppose you give him a few more 6-rounders. You don't rush him. There's no rush.
Yeah.
What's he say? He's 21.
21 or 22. Yeah, 21,
no rush.
22.
He's got plenty of time.
No rush at all.
Plenty of time, yeah.
Let him keep learning. He's sparring.
Just getting some tougher
he sparred Chris Eubank Jr. last couple of months back.
Josh Taylor.
He's getting the sparring in.
Richie Gray
sparred
Richie Gray, didn't he?
Richie Gray weather.
So
he's been in with the best.
True.
A lot of time for Dino, and I think he's a big prospect.
He's a prick though.
He's a prick.
He is a bit of a
Stop
prick.
sending me WhatsApps, you prick.
He's funny. He said to me, he texted me. What did he text me?
Dino, did hear you've been stealing my messages that I've been sending to Sam and sending to other people?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like that.
He sent me a text going, "Where were you last night? I got interviewed off my other ginger mate from IFL, but you were nowhere to be seen."
Did Donnelly interview him?
Yeah, I think so. It's not on the cage.
Yeah, they take about 2 days to put. I don't give a fuck about Small Hall.
They don't care about you, Dean.
We care
I
about
care
you,
about you, Dean. Not in a fucking weird way, just in a cool way. Do you know what I mean?
You've got that weird look on your face.
And I've just crossed my legs. Whatever. Moving on. Dan Keenan.
Oh man. Same camp, same weight.
Tough.
Is I know a lot of people that know him. We've known him for a little while. He's a good fighter and a good boy. He's only 20 years old. It was his 7th fight last night. He's fought on David Haymaker Bill. He was also on the Groves Gert next. So this was his 3rd arena fight at 20 years old. He's achieved a lot. He got beat last night, and I can't sit here and say anything other than he deserved to lose, in my opinion.
He got bullied, man.
He got beat up by a stronger man. He won the first round for me, and it didn't win another round. You know,
He got bullied. Yeah.
He did. The guy didn't respect his strength. He put it on Dan, and Dan really never kept it at range. He allowed himself to get pushed down. At 20 years old, it's hard to be too critical, but he needs to. He doesn't hit hard enough at this stage. But we spoke earlier about boy and man strength, and is it condescending to say at 20, oh, you're only a boy? I don't mean it like that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Do you know what I mean?
It will change over. He might not be a puncher now, but it will change. You don't necessarily gain punching power either with man strength. You're just getting physical strength, which can drain people.
Because he was getting sort of pushed around a little bit.
I think
you hold a shot better with man strength as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to less likely or more likely to get knocked out, but it's not going to budge you at all.
There was a couple of occasions during the fight where we were sitting there and we got so much time from him. Man, he's a fucking great boy. And we thought he was going to get stopped, didn't we? End of the second round, he was very wobbly.
Possibly been stopped.
But he bit down on the gum shield and he came back out and he made it competitive for the last couple of rounds and he's got heart, but he just physically didn't have enough, man. He physically didn't have enough to hold the boy off. And boxing on if you're going to box on the back foot and you're going to be that slick guy that boxes on the back foot, you have to do enough. And you have to make sure that when you land your shots, you're getting the guy's attention.
Yeah.
If you box on the back foot and throw a shot and the guy doesn't give a fuck, cool. He's just going to wear you down and wear you down. Exactly.
It's a shame he had that opponent and not the opponent he had in his last fight in York Hall, where I thought he had the best performance of his career. It's one of them things. Going to learn from it. I'm a massive believer in undefeated records don't really mean a lot when you haven't been in with anyone. Alright, he wasn't in with anyone great, but he was in with someone that he probably wasn't used to fighting that style. He may learn from it. He shouldn't allow himself to get bullied the way he did, and he's got to learn from that.
Yeah, you'll come again. He deserves to take a bit of time and just get himself together and work on the physical side of things if he has to. I know he's had a lot of problems with his hands. Yeah. And he's not in a position where he's wearing 2 little braces on his hands to hold them together like Richie Gray. But
I've got one strong hand.
But yeah, no, Dan will come again. I texted him last night and he was alright. He was obviously upset, but yeah, he's just
on that show, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that's what made it a really good undercard.
It blew my mind. I was just looking at the results come flying in every 10 minutes. I was jumping out of my chair, just mind blown at what was happening. Disqualifications, shock losses, knockouts.
Mate.
You look at the undercard and you go, that undercard's pretty poor. They've obviously spent all the money on the Groves fight. And then you start watching it and you go, gee, we watched every single fight. It was good, man. Competitive. It was good.
There were results that I just thought, when you think of the fighters that were, they're all prospects, you think, he's probably going to beat him. He's going to beat him. That's going to be a walk in the park. And these things that was coming through and I just blew my mind.
Nathaniel Wilson.
I'll let you pick them off one at a time and we'll go through them.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Wilson
got bummed out by Johnny Phillips.
He's good. He's not a good boxer, that kid. He's reckless. He's exactly tough. The same. He's exactly the same as Nathaniel. he's reckless.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a punch, or he believes he's got a bit of a punch. I see him about a month ago boxing. I think it was on the Tolworth show when Mark Rice had his debut, and he'd come out swinging. Bit cocky, bit leery, taking shots, smiling.
I'd never heard of him, and me and Craig saw him on the way into the arena,
leery,
and he was jumping about, going, "I can't fucking wait." He was shadow boxing outside the arena.
He was cocky on the way to the ring last time. He was losing, smiling. The kids hitting him with bombs, and I thought he's going to go.
How many times have I said I like personalities in boxing? Do you know what I mean? It's nice to see. I don't give a fuck if a fighter's winner.
It's not about winning or losing. No. I say this all the time. It's not about winning or losing. Sometimes it's about entertaining. About being entertaining.
And he fucking ran around like a madman when he knocked out Nathaniel Wilson.
Slamming the canvas and doing all. And I'll tell you what, it was a fucking nice left hook, man.
It was.
It's a good shot.
Do we all think that Nathaniel Wilson couldn't carry on? Because at first,
you thought he should have been given a chance to carry on.
Now, bear in mind, when you're sitting there, you don't get the television camera right in his face to look in his eyes, right?
I thought the way he went down, he tried to prop himself up. And
he tried to get up too quick, which I've seen people do.
Onto his shoulder, and for me, if I'm the ref, I'm thinking the body's not working the way it should be. The same as Ericsson Lubin later on in the night.
Yeah.
The ref can sit up close, so the ref knows what's going on. But
Richie's playing it just now.
Richie's playing it. I mean,
Nathaniel Wilson.
Oh, it's a great left hook. Listen, it's a great left hook.
Shot.
But he's tried to get up too quick.
He didn't go down hard. He didn't go down hard.
See, he got up, but
look how long it takes him to get on his feet.
Within a second, he's tried to get up. He's fucked, but then he kind of steadied himself.
He's still staggering though, mate.
I don't think he's staggering that bad.
I'd have given him a chance there.
I would have given him a chance. I don't know. Listen.
But I think I'd have given him a chance, but that kid would have rushed him. Perhaps the ref was like, he's going to steam into him.
Yeah, who knows? Listen, he got stopped. It is what it is. He was very limited anyway.
He was never.
He was kind of a Eubank.
It's kind of a weird one, isn't it?
Yes.
Because he's got Chris Eubank's head. He has the same head as Chris Eubank, but not the same family bond. So. Yeah, tough on Nathaniel Wilson.
Can we now talk about Louis Adolphe? Louis Adolphe, please.
You love Louis Adolphe,
I'm
mate.
all in Louis Adolphe, mate.
We are playing the Louis Adolphe clip.
I need to watch this again. This is...
I couldn't believe this.
Let's talk break.
It says break, boom, hit him. So he didn't say stop. He did not say stop.
Let's let Richie go first.
Talk us through
Richie is a pro boxer. You will have been in there and seen this situation in your own fights many a time. What is your opinion on this disqualification that was given to Louis Adolphe?
I understand why the refs disqualified him. The ref's fault in his mind. What the ref's fault in his mind was, right, I'm going to have to stop the action, talk about him not turning his back. But the ref did say break and he did not say stop. When a ref says break, if you're not actually engaged with your opponent near each other, the ref says break, it's a confusing situation because you don't need to break. And they was kind of not close enough for him to warrant even saying break. If you wanted to talk to him, he should have said stop. So saying break, for the fact that he can throw a shot like that means that there's not a break there to be said.
Yeah.
So he said, although he said break, not stop.
Yeah.
So I actually support that Louis didn't actually do anything wrong, but I can understand the ref thinking
it looks bad.
It does look bad.
It looks bad.
It does look bad.
Obviously,
it doesn't look sportsmanlike.
It doesn't.
It looks like it's frowned upon.
Yes.
But
is that against the rules?
It's frowned upon, but it's not against the rules. The ref said break. Now in a fight, it's not against the rules. He didn't break no rules. The ref said break, not stop.
Someone said to me after, because obviously we're going back and forth on Twitter with people while we're sitting at ringside. So someone went, "Oh no, look," he said, the cameras have zoomed in, and he said break 3 times. I still had the same thing. So, what the fuck does break mean? What does break mean? It means get out of this little...
This situation as I would see it if I was boxing. Break, didn't break. Break, didn't break. The next thing should be...
Put your arms
stop
on him.
boxing.
Stop
the next
boxing.
thing should be stop boxing. When I say break, you break. Other than that, a break is a break. If he said it 3 times, the ref should have then said, stop boxing, you two, come here. When I tell you to break, you break. If he's had to repeat it 3 times, the boys still understanding the situation. They're both being arrogant anyway. They're both ignoring him.
So for you, would you, if you're in that situation, you'd have thrown that shot? Yeah?
I feel like it's hard to say because you're not in that position. It's hard to say because you're not in that position, but I do support that Louis did it.
Yeah?
Johnny Coyle was in a similar position once where the opponent stood side on and went like this. Like that. And the ref didn't say stop boxing. So Johnny sort of looked around and then just whacked him, knocked him out.
So,
now, he didn't do nothing wrong. The ref didn't say stop boxing.
So what was it given as?
It was a stoppage. It was a stoppage. But it was a confusing situation because the boy wasn't...
So he stood up and he was he stood side on to Johnny and didn't...
Yeah, it's like the Mayweather thing, isn't it? It's frowned upon.
Mayweather and Ortiz, yeah.
It's frowned upon, but it's not illegal. It's a legitimate thing.
My immediate reaction was, looks bad, but Howard Foster, who's refereeing, has not touched Louis Adolphe. Someone went to me, he had his hand on his shoulder. Did he fuck? He went to put his hand out as Louis threw the shot. So
on a break though, not
on
stop.
A break, not on a stop boxing. Now, McIntosh should have had his hands up. I wish he'd have had his hands up and this wouldn't have happened.
That makes a big difference. Stop boxing and break are a massive difference. And it can be the difference between winning and losing a fight. Although I know Louis lost the fight, but if the ref had seen it differently, he would have won the fight and his opponent could have understood that, well, the difference between a stoppage and a stop and a break.
We had a question from Behind the Ropes podcast, who we finally met last night.
Yeah, Michael.
Fucking spot on.
Top man.
Really nice guy. And his question was around referees. I think we've probably covered it. But he's saying, do we have to look now after the Adolphe fight last night being a key example? Do we have to look at how referees break up fights, how they get involved, how intensely they get in there and break guys up? How do we monitor that so it doesn't happen again? Does it have to be some unified way of doing that, or how do we do it?
I think if you want the fights can get messy. You know what I mean? I've seen fights get messy where there's not even that many shots being thrown. They're just, they're sort of a bit messy. They're grappling, they're hugging. So the ref will get in and go, stop boxing, and he moves them back. You physically see him put a hand on one guy's stomach and a hand on the other guy's stomach, and he moves them backwards. Howard Foster didn't do that. He shouted break from the other side of the ring. He stepped in and apparently said break again. And not one point has he touched Louis Adolphe. I don't know if it's a problem in boxing. I haven't seen it happen enough to call it that. And I just think the ref needs to be more forceful with what he wants doing.
Boxers get hit on the break all the time. But you've got to understand, it is a fight. It is a fight. You're not supposed to catch people with heads, it happens. You're not supposed to catch with elbows, it happens. You're not supposed to hit people on the break, it happens. It is a fight. Defend yourself at all times. And the ref said break, not stop. So, for me, Louis was a bit harsh to disqualify him.
But normally when a ref calls break, this is just me sitting on my armchair like a fat Scottish guy drinking iron brew and not actually being a boxer, but when he called break, if I'm watching a fight, they break them up, and then he goes, oh, and he gives a hand gesture to...
not always.
No, he doesn't have to do that. The ref... Break is to take half a step...
Let yourselves go.
Take half a step back and carry on boxing. So, literally, let go, fight. It's up to some
He doesn't have to give the box on unless he said stop boxing. Is that right?
It's not a reset.
Okay.
It's not a reset back to the centre of the ring. It's break up. Like if
break
so
up
when
this
people
exact
on the ropes,
situation.
People on the ropes, box out, box off. They they tap you. Come on, get out of it. And if you don't get out of it, then they say right break, and he just splits you up. Cut boxing. It's half a step. Carry on. A stop boxing. That's when he'll reset you. Stop boxing. Even if he hasn't got nothing to say, he'll reset you in the middle of the ring. Box on.
Yeah, fair.
I was always taught that it's half a step and box on.
Half a step and box on. So, like Richie said, you may have been...
But that's what I've been taught. So another boxer might have been taught with breakers in whack someone straight in the face.
What I'm pretty sure is never taught is put your hands by your side and just turn around slowly. McIntosh should have had his gloves up.
He does a full rotation.
He does.
He walks in a circle,
and
man.
he's a Carl Greaves fighter, and I've got a lot of time for Carl Greaves. I've never seen McIntosh box live, but I know he's like quite well thought of. But mate, lift your gloves up as you turn around, and this doesn't happen.
How weird is it? This is just a question from me. How weird is it when something like that happens? Because I felt really weird when they were like, and the winner by disqualification.
The guy was asleep.
And he left his hands up, and they're like, you won the fight. And he's like, I was fucking out the game 2 minutes ago.
He was asleep.
Like, that's weird, isn't it?
Weird. Not many boxers win out on their back today. He was
really strange, and that's not his fault.
No, of course it ain't his fault. It's just a shame that it happened the way it happened, man. I'd like to see a rematch on whatever show it can be made on. Maybe Louis goes up north and brings the carnage up to fucking...
He is. Let's just talk a little bit about it, because we can't ignore it, right? People were talking about it on Twitter. I've just been sent a screenshot from Twitter. I'll read it out to you. Hold on.
Oh shit, what is this?
Yeah.
So
obviously we can never comment unless you see something happen, right? So we never seen this happen.
No, we didn't see any. We saw a lot of shit happening, but we didn't see anything.
Louis Adolphe, thanks for all the messages of support regarding the controversial decision. There's never a dull moment with Louis Adolphe. Hashtag A-Team smiley face. Someone then, a pro boxer I believe, Andrew Lowe Pro, good rhyming last name, he said, what's funny about you throwing another cheap shot backstage and starting on Nathan's mum? Hashtag bully.
I'm not having that.
You're not having it?
I'm not having that. No, fuck that.
Now we know there was stuff going on backstage.
There was stuff going on. I heard about 3 or 4 different fucking stories.
I can imagine this is a situation where Lou's got every right to have the ump. He's walked out the back. People are talking to him. Fuck off, leave me alone. Leave me alone, just wants to be on his own. Maybe he's walked past her, doesn't even know it is. Get out of the way. and walked on. Like she's one of 30 people who he's just wanted to get out of his way, and someone might have accused him of doing it directly. Because,
it's hard to know
because it was his opponent's relation.
We heard so much. It was fucking so much little shit going back and forth last night. I'm walking through. Someone said, "Oh, did you see that? This and that happened."
He's got arrested.
He's got arrested. Someone said Louis been arrested.
But we're texting his PR at the same time.
And his PR
who's
guy's
sitting
like,
with
I'm
him.
sitting with him. Of course he ain't been arrested. It was pathetic. People kind of want to build something out of nothing.
People love a drama.
I don't know the ins and outs. I'm hopeful that nothing like that happened. I think he's,
I think something happened.
Something happened. I
Now
know something happened.
The clarity of what happened, you'll probably never know. But
I'm going to try and speak to him this week.
it was it wasn't a great situation. It wasn't on probably the biggest stage of his career, with the most exposure in his career, and it's been clouded now by the fight, and then whatever's happened after the fight is clouded the whole scenario. So very talented boxer, Louis Adolphe. Nathan McIntosh, talented as well, but it became a bit of a nasty situation when it didn't have to be.
Yep.
John Ryder looked good though.
John Ryder looked good, man. It's been a while
Good
since
stoppage, man.
It's been a little while since he looked that good,
I didn't know Nielsen was the #1 WBA super middleweight
Was that super middleweight? Was it?
contender.
Yeah, super middle. Yeah,
Super middle.
Nielsen's a former world title challenger. Like
He looked done, no.
He did look done, and then when he dropped him in the second, right at the end of the second, I think it was.
Yeah.
I thought he doesn't really need this anymore, Nielsen. He looked like he was kind of going through the motions until it. Do you know what I mean? He didn't look like he believed he could carry on and win that fight. And Ryder looked good, man. He upped it. Yeah. What more can you say? John Ryder strong, landed shots, knockout victory.
What's your thoughts on Ryder?
I like Ryder. I didn't see much of this fight, but I do like him. He's come forward fighter. He's tough. He's always up for it. You don't really see him get bothered by much, do you?
No.
I think he's not massive super middleweight.
No.
He's not, and I like him. So I wouldn't. I'd like to see him more at middleweight, if I'm honest. I feel like he'd have more success, but he's obviously taken a reason to be there. So
he's one of those fighters, and we see it quite a lot. Like you see,
because he's short and muscular.
Yeah.
He's strong, which is one of his advantages. I feel like by going to super middle, he's balancing that out a little
sort of
bit.
negates that a little bit.
Yeah.
He always gets to that level, though, doesn't he? That's the thing for me. He always gets to that British level or European level or whatever it is, and then he seems to fall short. What can he do? What can he achieve in that division or in middleweight? Because he always seems to just fall short.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Ryder, he's always in tough fights, and everyone likes him as he spars. A lot of the boys spar him and stuff, and he fell short at Billy Joe. Rocky Fielding was a horrible fight because he's like 6'3".
He looked massive in front of him.
Massive. And what do we think he can achieve?
That's what I meant by saying by him going to super middle. That was the fight that came to mind. I thought.
Well, yeah, his first fight was Adam Etches at super middle, and that was on the Eubank undercard.
He was enormous when
and then he fought Rocky Fielding for the British, and it just looked like two different weights.
Rocky was enormous, and although
he still put it on him,
he still backed him up a lot. But if that was at middleweight, the guy was a little bit smaller, a little bit less strength. The shots would have made a difference. Ryder would have ground him down a little bit, drained his energy. Whereas he's a natural super middleweight. Yeah. Rocky's a natural super middleweight. He can take that strength. He's got just as much strength.
What John does have, I spoke to Lerone earlier, obviously, and he said he'd been sparring him for this camp, and he said he's physically strong.
I think that's where he gets his nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, Gorilla.
That's
but height and reach advantage and stuff, that's got to count for something, I guess.
With his style, he is slipping, rolling, getting in and getting under. So if someone is really tall with long arms, when he gets inside, it can be awkward for them. Admittedly, he can be making it hard for them. The only problem for me is that it feels like maybe he's going to lose a bit of his strength advantage. Although, yeah, he's massively physically strong, but imagine him doing that to a middleweight.
Yeah.
But then maybe he's finding it hard to make that weight because the difference between...
There's a lot of him. He's thick set, isn't he?
4 kilos between the weights is a lot.
Yeah.
In your mind, I think it's 8 or 9 pounds.
Yeah,
you like kilos? You fucking like kilos as much as Callie Sowland, do you?
I love kilos.
Love some man.
Kelly Sowland. I didn't see him most of the night. I don't know where he was.
I think he was in the
From
toilet.
now on,
I don't know
all
why.
Fight Talk podcasts should be done in kilos.
I can't get on board with it.
I do kilos as well from judo, like fighting judo. They measure in kilos.
You've got
We do a vote.
No, we're not doing a vote.
He's out voted already.
Boxing is always in
We'll just talk about
pounds.
kilos and let him get it
Boxing
down.
is always done in pounds.
Don't know what
If
you're
someone
talking
goes, who's the 140 champ?
about. Hold on, I'll tell you what
Who's
we
the
do.
154
I'll tell you what we
champ?
do. We'll ask a boxer. I say
No, a
kilos.
real boxer, not Richie Gray
An actual boxer.
actual boxer. No, it's a weird one. Pound, stone. Because yesterday when they did the weigh-ins, they did the weigh-ins and said it in stone. They went 11 stone 1. I was like, wait, let me work this shit out. 155.
6 kilos to a stone, 2.2 pounds to a kilo.
I'm not a fucking magician, mathematician.
I'm not a magician. Bro, you need to go back to school.
I'm not a math magician. I was going to say.
What school did you go to? What GCSE did you get from magic?
I didn't get any. Let's leave it alone. Are we going to talk about the crowd trouble before or after the main event?
I'm the best fucking boxing writer in the UK. Just remember that. Alright. You can check my article out on fighttalk.net. Best believe.
Let's talk about the crowd trouble because it happened during the main event as well.
Yes, it was disgusting. Really, the first section of crowd trouble was following the Louis Adolphe thing. We think it might have something to do with whatever happened after that. There was, you said, about 150 bodies ran out towards the foyer.
Sprinted downstairs.
Which is never a good start. Then you had another pocket of about 20 to 30 guys fighting up the top, like facing where we were.
Mm-hmm.
They were broken up. And then you had the worst one, which is the one that Spencer Fearon posted. You might have seen, and other people have posted.
Did he post
as well.
it? Did he?
Yeah.
He missed the knockout because he was watching this.
Yep.
I nearly did. I very nearly did.
So he posted that one, and that was literally about 40 guys, old, unfit, fucking drunk, coked up guys, literally kicking each other in the head, man.
Yep.
Kicking each other's faces in a stand that was full of couples or wives or daughters or sons or whoever else. And why are they fighting? What are they fighting for, man? And it might be that it's to do with football, or it's to do with this or that, or whatever else, but
that's what we got told, and as we're leaving, it was like, oh yeah, it was QPR and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't a football match.
It's just a waste. It's never my idea of fun. Do you know what I mean?
No.
If I had to get in a fight with Richie Gray, I'd get in a fight with Richie Gray, but it wouldn't be my idea of fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a different. These men are paid athletes in the ring. They're paid athletes, and they train like. You're just a fat lad with a beer in your hand throwing fucking... It's embarrassing.
But why does it start? Like, you know what? If it's to do with football, right, and someone is a Chelsea fan or a QPR fan,
I know.
and there's a Chelsea
How
guy
does
there,
that happen at
and
a
they
George
go,
Groves fight?
Alvaro Morata's shite, mate. And then do they just start, like, beating each other up?
Or your championship, let's have a scrap.
Yeah, fucking Courtois rubbish, mate. Like, how does that...
I know.
How does that manifest itself
especially
in a war?
At a boxing event, like I said, George Groves is a Londoner, so I'd imagine the people that... The Chelsea and the QPR fans would have bought their tickets to come and see George Groves. So what happened? Because he starts fighting, like it's in the middle of the main event, and you look up and there's these fucking 20 or 30 dickheads having a scrap, kicking the fuck out of each other. One geezer looking...
It is bullshit. I don't like that when there's fights. There's kids and families, and my sisters and all sorts of people come to my fights. I will not be happy if it kicked off there. You don't want it. It can ruin it for some people.
Yep.
Some people won't want to go for that reason.
That's it. Puts people off. We spoke to that woman earlier on.
Boxing hasn't really got this image. I don't know why it's happening. It is football supporters have done this because...
Well, that's four times in the last 2 or 3 months.
It's not really been a thing in boxing. People mentioned it to me in the past. Oh, does it kick off? Because it kicks off at football games. It's not really like that. No. It's not really... Boxing ain't really like that. I think people have got too much respect for each other. And they're not stupid like that. What's the point in having a fight with these people? Your man just lost. He's lost. He's beating me up, ain't going to change it.
Last few years, I mean, I've seen a couple of scraps at football, and I mean, they're isolated. At boxing, they're isolated. A couple of dickheads having a scrap. But last night, when I say it was 30, 40 blokes, it was serious. Like,
I'll give a shout out to one of my mates who got in a fight when I boxed. My second pro fight. Sam Hamill got in a fight. Some guy walking around at York Hall. They all know he is. And some geezer's giving it large. So Sam thought he'd step up. And the geezer ironed him out. He got ironed out with one punch. He hit Sam so hard he broke his leg.
Not only is he... I'm going to give him a shout out. You got knocked the fuck out and your leg broke.
You will never do that ever again at one of my shows. If anyone else does it, you'll get called out on it.
Sam, you got punched so hard you broke your leg?
He was out of work for about 3 months.
Did he punch you in the leg?
Sam was drunk. He said to me, he was pissed, and this geezer's walking around giving it large to people. Sam's he's brave. He's had a few beers, and he was like, I'm not having this. He's like, mate, shut up, will you? Fuck off. And the geezer said something to Sam. Sam went, go on, hit me. He stuck his chin out and he did. He put one straight on him. Sam said the next thing you know, Rich, I woke up and was laying on a bed.
Oh my God.
He was alright though. He didn't mind. When I went in there, everyone was going, oh, don't tell Rich, what's happening? And my brother was like, Rich, Sam's got knocked out. I was like, it's going to happen at some point.
Fucking Sam again.
He can take a good whack, he don't mind. He woke up and he was like, my face feels fine, Rich, but my leg's broke.
Shout out Sam Hamill.
Look up Sam.
Putting his face on the line and his leg on the line.
For Richie Gray's career. What a man.
Yeah, let's move on to the main event.
We had before we do that, there was a couple of things. What can be done? Because I put out on Twitter, what can we do?
About crowd trouble. Sorry.
Yeah, about crowd trouble. Yeah, while we're on it, and
people have been talking crazy on that.
Listen, your article it's a very good article. People have been talking about it. People tweeting and that. What do you do? Some big up Sean Earls. My mate Sean Earls was chatting to him last night. What
gangster.
a guy!
He's a gangster.
He's
not actually a gangster.
He said, why don't we move a lot of boxing to Friday night so people are coming from work rather than football? Two sides to it. First of all, you know I work nights, you prick. So Monday to Friday night I can't do. But I don't know. It's difficult, innit? It is difficult. It's a good night out. And then someone was like, you ban all alcohol. Well, I don't think you can do that because people like to work all week and then they like a beer when they watch boxing. Let's not punish everyone because there's 40 dickheads out of 8,000. Yeah. What do you do? What's the answer? York Hall's quite lucky because the bar is segregated. You can't watch the boxing and have a beer.
That's where Sam got laid out in the bar area, so it keeps it
separate. at least the cameras don't see it.
It keeps it separate though, like you say, it does keep it kind of separated.
At an arena show, you have to have multiple bars. There's probably 10 bars at Wembley Arena.
You can't control that.
You can't control that.
You can't have all them people that want to drink at the same time.
My idea, that after thinking about it for a little while, my final idea, out of your, let's say there's 4,000 or 5,000 seats up, upper tiers, you keep 50 of those for security and you have little pockets of 5 security at a time sitting amongst the fans in their high-vis vest or whatever, their security jackets. Not only is it a deterrent, but they're instantly on. If there's a fight, they're there. Whereas these guys had to run from pillar to post to fuck it. It's not good.
Yeah.
So why not have... Alright, it's expensive. You're going to pay these geezers £100 a night, an extra 50 of them. That's $5,000 straight away off the show's bill. But whatever. Stop this shit. For people's safety, it's worth doing it. Have 10 little pockets of 5 security sitting in and amongst the fans. That's the only thing I could come up with that could stop this.
I think that's a solid point. One of the interesting things that was brought up by Shaz, shout out Shaz, was he said it should be the venue should be held accountable because it's their security that run it. And my point back to him was, I don't think it is. I think the promoter hires a security firm, right?
Yep.
So Andy Brown and all these boys who are doing tremendous work, and it's a job I wouldn't really want to do, to be honest. I think it's them, but then do you hold them accountable? They've only got so much manpower. So if you're in a venue with 20,000 people, they're only going to have a certain number of staff that they have on board. There's only going to be a certain number of badge holders that can come and work for them and do that sort of work. So I don't know. It's tricky. It's a tricky one.
Like it's easy for me to say let's employ 40 or 50 more security, but like you said, first of all they got to be paid for. Second of all, they have to have had the training. They have to, you know what I mean? It's not easy to find these specific type of people. I get it.
Listen, I'm not doing it. See if that's my
as well, You've all got to be available at the same time.
See if that's my job. Fuck that, man. You know when I'm standing there yesterday and I'm watching a group of like 30 people, literally on different levels as well. So it's not like they're all in the one area standing on the same level. Some guys are up high kicking other boys in the face. Other boys are down low punching guys in the dick. And and for me, if I'm the security guard and I'm standing watching, if I'm watching these 20, 30 guys, I'm going, think to myself, I'm getting paid fucking 10, £11 an hour or whatever it is. I'm not feeling it, man. I've got to go out clubbing afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard.
Very hard. Who knows what the answer is, but something has to be done because it ain't right.
Check out that article, fighttalk.net, written by the future of British boxing.
Plug.
Nah, listen, it raises a couple of good points because it's happened so often recently. The West Ham thing with Byfield McNess. We talk about the Billy Joe Saunders with the footage of the woman getting punched square in the face off the man. Embarrassing behaviour. Avni Yildirim and his Turkish hooligans at the Chris Eubank fight. And then obviously last night, which was highlighted on various media sources as well. Lots of crowd trouble, and I don't know what it is. But main event.
Oh, and the Saints go watching it. Go on, the Saint. Doing West London proud, mate. Don't worry about the Saint. Told ya, be too much for Jamie Cox, and he fucking proved it. He bombed him out of there. Bring on Eubank.
Right, let me go through a couple of questions so we can get the questions done. Fighting Chance PR and Martin from New Age Boxing came up with the same question. I'll ask Richie Gray first. Where do you think Groves Eubank takes place, and when do you think is the most appropriate date, Richie?
Wembley
Stadium.
Wembley Stadium.
If it's a lot of people in there, doesn't it? That's going to be a big one. I think it's going to sell a lot. Is there a bigger stadium than that?
I don't think it's big enough.
You don't think it's big enough?
Nah. I don't think the fight is big enough for Wembley Stadium.
You don't think the fight is big enough? I think that's a big fight.
Well, I had this conversation on Facebook with somebody and I said, I don't think it's that big a fight for Wembley. And they said,
I think it's a big fight.
Well, they said to me, neither was Froch Groves until it started building itself up.
But that was a rematch.
This is going to be as big as that. I think this is going to be as big as that. I think this is going to be. I think this is the biggest fight. One of the bigger fights of the tournament.
It is the biggest. This should have been the final. This should have been the money fight.
If this ain't going to fill out Wembley, what is?
None in this tournament.
No, this will.
I think this is a stamp for Bridge. I think this is a 30, but then it's football season's on during February,
I
January,
like this. I
February.
like this fight, and I like this fight at a big venue with a great undercard as well. I think it's a massively good fight.
Is that a plug? Because I'd like a good undercard. Nudge,
They
nudge,
need a
wink,
good
wink.
undercard. They need some good
Richie
ticket
Gray,
sellers.
ticket seller.
What they need is some good ticket sellers,
Yeah.
some good prospects on there. I mean, I know some. So if you need
Davis
someone,
Pagan, is that who you're
Shout out
talking
Davis
get
Pagan.
some
Davis
of my mates
Pagan.
on there. You know
Shout
what
out
I
Adrian
mean?
Martin, all those
Get all the
boys.
boys, get all the MCK boys on
Yeah.
there.
My honest opinion, I don't think it's big enough for Wembley, and that may be to do with the. Like, a lot of people have been saying, why did you pay-per-view Eubank and Groves 1 week apart when you could have given them free and built the fuck out of this fight for the massive pay-per-view you're going to do in January or February?
Money.
This fight went as well. 1 week after the other. So
But it's a lot, man.
will
It's
it
a
be?
lot.
What's it now?
They did them both
October,
pay-per-view, didn't
November,
they?
December. That's not going to be till next year, early next year.
January, February, they're talking.
February. I think February's the best time.
So
to
how do you do it in a Premier League football ground like Stamford Bridge? I don't know if you can do it. Is there an international break around then? Maybe you could throw it in. I personally don't think it sells out Wembley Stadium. 80,000 people.
It doesn't have to be that many though.
It doesn't have to
You
fill
could
it, but
break it down to 50s and 60s.
That's
can't
what I
you?
mean.
But
You
I
could,
think
do a little bit more than Stamford Bridge, but it doesn't have to be Joshua numbers.
That's
So-
true. That is true. That might be the best bet then. Maybe do it at
See,
Wembley and take down the top tier, make it a
that's
60,000
a fight I would
stadium.
go to, though. That's a fight I would go to because I think it'll be a wicked fight.
Yeah, it'll be.
And
a
I
good
prefer
fight.
the small hall show to a lot of these big shows, but
I
I would go to that.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
The production of the World Boxing Super Series. Did I get it
I've seen
right?
photos.
Did I get it right? Is
Well,
it-
yes, you nailed
What
it.
you get in there?
I've seen photos of all that. That looks
Mate,
immense.
it was
unreal, mate.
phenomenal.
That looks
It's
immense.
unreal,
With
man.
that ring they have running outside with the
The
lights.
spotlights, the
Something like that.
podiums when the fighters stand there. It's almost gladiatorial, isn't it?
Brilliant, man.
beautiful.
Smoke machines coming up, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Come to the ring."
Yeah.
It's fucking
Mr.
brilliant.
George
Yeah, it's amazing.
That is
Groves.
unreal, isn't
It's
it?
amazing.
I mean, that big up the announcer with the dreadlocks as well.
He's going bald at the front, but he's got the longest dreadlocks at the back.
I
It's
said, how the fuck does he keep his head up, man? He must
Really,
fucking his
really
way back with all the fair
very
play to
weird.
I'd like to see that one at a big venue just after Christmas. Need a bit of time to build it up. I
Richie
think
Gray on the card.
They should start talking about it. They need Richie Gray on the undercard. Most of the MTK boys, let's bring them all along. I like having the boys there with me mates.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But
Bring
that's
some Team Wilkie boys along as well.
next question from Russ. Russ on Twitter, and he's got like a couple of letters at the start of his Twitter handle, and in the end it ends in buttface.
Go on, Russ.
So yeah, respect, Russ. Whatever you're into. His question was: describe the look on Eubank's face after Groves sent Coxey's ribcage into orbit.
Money, money,
said-
money, money. That was the look on his
He
face.
said, was it concern or was it focus, do you think?
I sat right behind him, so I could see his emotion through the back of his
At that
head.
point, I don't think you care.
Nah.
When you know you find someone, I don't. When you look, you think, listen, one of these guys is going to win. Maybe it's knockout, maybe it's not. You think, okay, I'm getting paid well for this fight. That'll be about it. I don't think you.
Eubank Jr. is cool as a
I
fucking
don't think you look at
cucumber.
anyone, even if you know you're fighting. If you know you're fighting Golovkin, you see him knock someone out. You think, I've seen him knock people out before. I knew that was going to happen at some point. Like,
You almost don't measure them against you, do you? Because
Don't care.
you're a different
It's
person.
gonna
So
be
you,
different.
you believe in yourself that much that
it's
it's,
not that
like,
you believe in yourself. It's just that it's always different. Like if I know I'm fighting this guy, if he's got 14 knockouts out of his 16 wins, and he goes and knocks out fight number 17 just before me, it's like, well, he knocked out 14 before. You
Yeah.
can't expect him to not knock this one out.
Yeah.
Groves
good
can
point.
punch. You can't go and watch Groves and expect him to not knock someone out because he is a
he's
puncher.
a punch. What a beautiful shot as well.
Yeah, let's
What
talk
a
about the fight. Let's talk about the
That's
fight.
a great shot.
What a
That was
shot.
I was watching that with someone earlier and I was like, didn't really like much of a big shot. And I was like,
Mate,
yeah, but it's not
it
about...
was a little
you don't-
counter.
It's where it landed.
It's like
And-
here.
and
Yeah.
it's probably he's breathing at the same time. As he's breathed, as he took the breath as well, it took everything out of
Everything
him.
gone.
For a second he probably thought, that ain't too bad. And then... so I'm breathing and there's nothing there.
You
He's
seen him
like,
look at his corner, and he was
I'm
like,
done.
he looked up at his corner like 3 or 4, and he went, "Guys, can't do it."
This ain't happening. He looked like he'd be up by 12 though, didn't he? Like,
Yeah.
Because as soon as he got to 10 or 11, he was up on his feet.
Yeah.
So I felt a bit bad for him. Like,
Nah,
Listen, he came to have a go. It was a good fight. It was only on
not
4
big
rounds.
enough. He's
do you
not
know,
big enough.
he's not big enough, and George is too experienced now to let a couple of rounds here and there. He was put pressuring George, pressuring him, but I think George is intelligent enough
George
to
was
know
lining
that
him up.
George has boxing IQ now. Like he's been a long time pro, world champion. Obviously, he knows. Listen, he can't maintain that pace for the entire fight. That ain't gonna happen. Let him blow out the fight. Like he was throwing a lot of shots, Cox up against the ropes.
Yeah.
Groves kind of like covered up. He took 1 or 2, but
He didn't
he didn't look
uncomfortable.
no, not at all. So I think it was intelligence from Groves, and then picked the perfect shot. Just crumpled that poor man up like a crisp packet. I think it must have felt like just getting fucking.
Do you think it still hurts today?
That's got to work that rib, innit? Or like you said though, maybe it was just a shock impact.
Just the
Took all
breath.
the air, and that was it.
Stand up, let me punch you in the
I'm
stomach,
right,
and
you
what
know.
we'll do is...
You'll break
you
your
can
hands.
I'll kick you in the stomach. You can describe the pain. Thing is, if he's hit him in the stomach, it might not even damage any ribs, it might just take his breath away.
Yeah.
And you breathe in, but you can't breathe out, or you breathe out and you can't breathe back in. So it takes a second. You watch the video, he takes a shot, boom. For a second or so, you think, that's fine. And then
Then he took one step back and
takes a
realised.
step, and then it hits you. That's the thing with them body shots. People think
Horrible, isn't it?
People neglect the body, don't they?
People talk about the body shots. Oh, up the rib cage. They're just bruises. It's just like getting hit in the head. It's just a bruising shot. In the actual stomach, where it takes your breath away, bruises don't matter. Bruises, cuts, punches, they hurt, but they're never going to put you down. You think that hurts. That's it. If you go down because it hurts, you shouldn't be a fighter. Yeah, it hurts getting punched in the face. When you get punched in the stomach, it takes your breath away. No matter who you are,
different.
It's different. You can't breathe. There's not really much you can do about that.
Yep.
I thoroughly enjoyed the fight while it lasted. I thought it was an entertaining fight. It was only 4 rounds, not even 4 rounds, but I thought it was a lot of action. There was no real feeling out process. They just went at each other. I thought Jamie Cox
got the credit for that because he was going in, wasn't he?
I thought he equipped himself quite well. Yes, too small for that division, I agree with you, but I think against somebody as experienced and as good as George Groves, I thought he had flashes in the fight. He had about 45 seconds in the fight where I thought he looked really good.
It's not enough for a watch out.
No, it's not, but what?
I know what you're saying.
It was a good fight.
It wasn't a walkover. It wasn't.
If he doesn't get caught with that body shot,
but not looking bad and then get knocked out by George Groves doesn't necessarily mean you're not good enough at super middleweight.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you've not got it that way.
Yeah. Let's see where he goes from now. I don't know what Eddie will do with him now.
Well, it's funny you ask that.
What?
One of the questions from Martin Theobald, who is currently hungover. Do you know he's hungover, right? He went to Oktoberfest last night with the boys, and he's hungover. And what do you like to do when you're hungover, Richie? What's like your ideal day if you've got a really bad hangover, mate?
Eat food and watch TV.
Good shout, Sam.
We'll run back to the club and get me car.
I was gonna say drink beer and eat food. No, you got to have hair of the dog, haven't you?
Yeah, you got to knock it off, right? You got to do it in your own time. Get a little beer down you.
Yeah, that's it. Hair of the dog.
Anybody here like going to see Kids Orchestra? Fuck that, man.
Poor bastard.
Martin Theobald is currently at his Kids Orchestra. Shout out to Theobald Kids all day, but that is awful.
Worse. Make sure you lot have bought tickets for his live show, man.
It's going to be amazing.
For the
going to be
future, for
brilliant.
everyone else with a hangover on a Sunday, what you should be doing is listen to the Fight Talk podcast.
Exactly.
But we release it on a Sunday night, though.
Yeah, you
can still have a hangover. You can still have a hangover.
Just in time,
Just
yeah.
in time to turn the
Just
TV
to
off.
repair you.
Turn the TV off, listen to the podcast and unwind. Ready for Monday.
What Richie said.
Perfect.
Make sure you're at New Age
We need to
Live
get him
show.
on more often,
Start
man.
adding me on Instagram. Listen to the podcast.
Richie Gray official all over the place. Yeah, and he's getting a Fight Talk tattoo on his left bum cheek.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word on the street.
For
What do I
charity.
get for that?
Charity, innit? We should call it for charity.
Social media exposure, Richie.
Social
That's what we'll
media
get you. Question from Martin was related to Matchroom. What did Matchroom do with Jamie Cox now? He seems that he's earned himself and them more money than he did for Frank Warren before. Do they feed him to others now? Opinions?
Go back down in weight for a start.
You think so? You think that'll happen?
I just don't think he needs to be at super middleweight. What's the point?
I don't know, you know.
But
Like,
he's he's muscly. There's not much on him. There's not much on him, but I just think if he went down, it would benefit him because just Groves was big, and admittedly Groves is a big super middleweight.
Yeah.
But if he can go back down to middle, have a go at middle again, and then
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Fight, but
I ain't seen a lot of Jamie Cox interviews wise, so I don't know what his ambition is. Like, was this realistically just to get lottery? Was it a money exposure fight? So we don't know what his goals and ambitions are in boxing. Matchroom, I don't think sign many guys to just knock about. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what you do with him. What do you do with Jamie Cox? I'd put him in with John Ryder. That'd be quite fun.
That's a decent fight.
a middleweight.
Nah, super. They're both super. They might as well stay at super.
Go to middleweight. Go back to middleweight. Both.
He was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight Rocky Fielding. Wasn't he? That was signed, sealed, delivered. And
what? Jamie Cox.
Yeah, for the British title.
It'd be like Ryder again.
No, that was done. That was a done deal before the Super Series.
And then they pulled out so they could go into a boxing.
That would be like Ryder again though. He'd just be too big.
Too tall. Rocky's massive.
Not because he's not Cox ain't good enough. It's just because Rocky's massive.
Yeah.
Then go back and fight Fielding. And if it was signed, they might as well do it again. Give him one or two decent. I don't know. I'm not really bothered. I'm not a massive fan of the geezer. That's the truth. Yeah.
I made a fan. I actually enjoyed watching him the weekend. I think he comes forward, he's up for it, and he has a go. And for that reason, I will watch him again now.
I'd like to see him and Ryder. I'll go with him and Ryder. I'd like to see that. Quite similar. No, not fucking super. Let them stay where they are now. Super middle.
Richie's trying to get everyone to diet, but he was eating all the food at your barbecue.
I still made weight.
I
had so much grief for that.
He did make
I
weight.
think I came in light.
Need to do it more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, good fight. A couple of questions relating to the World Boxing Super Series as well. Martin Thibault's got a couple actually. We'll start with his first one. Do you think it is good or bad that world titles are less relevant throughout the World Boxing Super Series setup? They've become almost an afterthought. So I think he means by that because they're picked up along the way towards this Muhammad Ali trophy.
Yeah. And the big prize fund.
Yeah, so thoughts on that? I've got a thought on it, but I'll let you boys go first.
No, you go first, because I'm not really... you just springing these on me, to be honest. You've had a little time to digest it, and you're just fucking... You think you're smart, don't you? You want to be the A side of this fucking podcast.
So knows it all.
Yeah, practice
Hold on till I bring up my PowerPoint. My only thoughts are, I think it's good that they become less relevant because you play less into the hands of the politics involved in boxing. So if they're less relevant and you're fighting to win a competition, you don't have to worry about who's a mandatory, who's a voluntary, who's paying the sanctioning fees, who's doing this, who's doing that.
As a side note, obviously there's normally trouble making fights because of the different governing bodies of the titles.
Yeah.
How are they being affected during this tournament?
They're just picking them all up. That's
Because
the thing.
it's hard enough to make a fight between two fighters anyway.
Yep.
And now they're doing it. So you're this company, you're that company. I'm going to say, yeah, but my tournament says that your guy's got to fight him, but your title can't be on the line, yours can, or whatever the rules are.
Well, look at the cruiserweight one. So every belt
is now your rules irrelevant and yours irrelevant because you're in my tournament.
They've all, I think, just signed over and gone, all
The
right,
contracts, surely
you run it.
they must have got paid
We'll
a bit.
just get our sanctioning fee at the end. You do what you got to do.
Surely
for
that's what's
6
got to
months.
happen.
They
yeah.
must have got paid a bit. Every sanctioning body must have got paid a decent lump.
Bit of a side note, but I was just
that's a
thinking,
good point.
as you were saying,
That's
I thought, because it's so hard sometimes you think he should fight him, and everyone
Oh no, he
thinks
can't fight him. He's the WBO champ, and he's not ranked in that.
There's always this stuff, but through this tournament, that has to go out the window for it to work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this tournament would go on for years.
I think it's good in that sense that you mentioned, in the sense that I touched on as well, but I also think it's bad because the Muhammad Ali trophy isn't a real fucking thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
But how do you know it won't be?
Well, you don't, but at the moment...
This might become... Listen,
World-class prize fighter.
people want to be the unified champion, right? What if in 5 years the goal is to be the Ali Trophy winner? Because it's... Do you know what? How many times have I fucking said... What does No, sorry. But you know when someone says they're a world champ, yeah, but you're a WBA regular.
Yeah.
But then there's 4 other organisations. Chris Eubank still calls himself a world champ and he's IBO. Sorry. But
Richie, I love the IBO, mate.
how do you ever know if someone's the number one? But if the Ali Trophy has the top 8 guys and you win it, you are the number one.
Do you think if they took all the world titles away from the cruiserweight division, World Boxing Super Series, it'd still be the best of the best, man? Nobody would give a fuck about the world titles because it'd be the best guys fighting the best guys. If Usyk is fighting Gassiev,
I don't think it matters.
That's what I mean.
That's what he's saying.
There could be boys fighting for the belts outside of this tournament that would be just as an entertaining fight as the boys in the tournament. So I get what you're saying. The belts kind of become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't watch Groves versus Eubank irrelevant of a title. I don't care if there's a title on it. And I'm also interested in who's going to win the tournament.
Yep.
Where's it going to go?
Titles seem to play less and less.
You don't even care about the art. It doesn't matter about the trophy and all that. It doesn't matter. You just want to see
good fights.
Who's going to make it to the final, and then hopefully that's going to be a banging fight. But at the end of the day, styles make fights, so it could be awful. But
time will tell the success of this tournament and how we look back on it. You know what I mean? The Ali Trophy winner was George Groves and Usyk.
I think it's a great idea because it's forcing people to fight each other.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, you're right. And if Groves wins, he'll have to pick up the IBO and WBC Diamond. And
who gives a fuck?
It's the same with Usyk. If he wins, he'll pick up.
All of them.
Is anyone predicting on this Eubank Groves?
Not right now. I can't go into that right now. It's too
emotional.
emotional. Not today. Not today.
It's a hard
Come
one.
on, someone had to say it.
It's a hard one. It's a hard. Either goes. I don't know. Either he gets overwhelmed at distance from Groves and gets caught with a big shot, or else he overwhelms Groves in close and just volume.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Volume just overwhelms Groves, but it's a tough one to call.
I think we'll find out whether Eubank's got it in that fight.
Yeah.
But then how long do we keep doubting him though?
I know.
Not doubting him, but he's demolished so many people that.
Yeah.
But very
stands
smart
with him,
matchmaking. He's since
he has a smart
Abraham,
matchmaking.
someone who will walk forward. Yildirim was probably made for him. This is I agree. This is the fight we'll know.
This is the acid test.
Super middleweight is really
he fucked
his
up when
way
he was
for
boxing
one.
Saunders. I think he thought he was going to knock Saunders out.
Yeah, he was lazy.
Too slow, wasn't he?
He didn't start the fight till round 6, and already Saunders was 6
and then he won them all.
and then he couldn't knock him out.
Yeah.
No, it was poor. Last question from Martin, I believe. Kid Galahad this is the best question, by the way. Kid Galahad has been calling for a featherweight World Boxing Super Series tournament.
That.
Whose house would he watch it from? Tremendous question. He did that hungover at orchestra. That question, by the way.
That's amazing.
Great work.
Whose house did he watch it from?
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah.
I imagine they'd have their arse cheeks out. It'd be. Nah,
No, you can't say
I can't say that.
No.
Speaking of arse cheeks, Richie Gray's got a new tattoo.
Yeah.
So keep an
Lovely
eye out.
memory of the rabbit just left the house.
Keep an eye out.
He lost a rabbit, so I've got
A rabbit on his arse cheek.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Rest in peace. Rest
You
in
can
cheek.
find that- you can find that on my Snapchat.
Kid Galahad, is he world class
I don't know yet.
for you?
Too early, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't
Is
know.
it though? How long's he been floating about? He failed the drug test. Was out for 2 years, wasn't he? His brother spiked his Nando's or something. What was the excuse? There was some fucking. It was.
Do you know what? I've got a
Was
feeling.
that real or did you just make that
No,
up?
that's
it
true
was
story.
I'm going to look it
My
up.
brother
Talk,
spikes my Nando's.
talk about Galahad. I'm going to look it up.
That's a true story.
But you like
Um,
Nando's. So
I had my salad spiked by lots of fatty foods and like junk from my McDonald's. Basically,
yeah.
I
That
didn't.
happened to me this week after my fight. Someone keeps spiking my meal preps with like Chinese takeaway.
I know. What can you do?
I mean, I
It's
keep going to the freezer. I get my meal prep out. I put it in the microwave, and then the doorbell goes, and Indian comes flying in.
mate, what
It's
can you
not
do
my
about
fault.
Is that
that?
your
You-
fault? I
You
don't
can't
think
predict
so.
that. There's nothing you can do. So poor
I
kid
try not
Galahad.
to, but
Listen, with Selby, Warrington, Frampton, there's some big feathers. Who knows? I honestly believe this tournament will say a lot about what we think about tournaments as a whole.
Frampton just moved as well.
Frampton's just
Yeah.
moved,
Just
yeah.
moved shops, isn't he?
Yeah, moved shop.
In May 2015, Galahad was banned for 2 years following a failed drugs test. He tested positive for banned substance stanozolol, an anabolic steroid. He maintains his innocence, saying his brother put the steroids in his protein shake after he refused to give him money. So no
So you made up
Nando's involved. I
And they
made
came
up
back from
Nando's.
Nando's. Maybe they came back from Nando's. I'm sure I heard Nando's before.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Nando's
I
deserve
like
the
the
exposure.
Nando's. That's
They
all
got Nan-
right.
can I get a
Nando's.
black card?
Don't listen to that. It was Nando's.
I want Nando's
I
black
prefer
card.
I prefer the Nando's story, alright?
Yeah, let's go with Nando's. I want a Nando's black card. That's my lifelong
I
ambition.
should get one.
Yeah, I'm Richie
Richie
Gray,
Gray.
mate. Richie Gray,
You
mate.
know I
I'm 5-0. I'll have you know.
Oh, if anyone-
Imagine a boxer actually did that.
Oh, if anyone does that in any nightclubs, that's embarrassing. Protein shakes are dangerous, aren't they? Because it's easy to spike them.
Well, Dillian
But
White
ju-
failed a drug test
Oh,
what,
no,
5
actually,
years ago.
there is protein and all these supplements that have things in them that people shouldn't have. They don't really check them, do they?
Dillian White failed a drug
Just for the
test
record, I
on
don't do any supplements whatsoever.
what was it called? Jack 3D. Do you remember Dillian White's?
Yeah, you failed. Yeah,
It was it's a pre-workout. Pre-workout.
Grenade, which is pre-workout.
Yeah.
Which, that was bad.
That's what Dillian White took and failed a test on 5-6 years ago.
He was banned for a year.
Yeah, in
Well,
18 he lost a
a
year.
lot of these pre-workouts are bad.
Yeah,
I think you're lucky to find one that isn't because there's a lot of stuff in them that you shouldn't have.
just be au natural.
It comes up more often in the pre-workouts than it does the protein shakes.
Yeah, just straight Indian and Chinese food is the way forward. I think that's
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Come to Sam's barbecue.
Yeah,
Works
eat
for
his
me.
burnt-
Barbecue's
eat
the
his
way
burnt
forward.
burgers.
They
It
weren't
works
burnt.
for me.
Fuck off, they weren't burnt.
I liked them anyway until they were taken off me.
Yeah, it's obviously busy weekend of boxing. The last one we wanted to touch on briefly because we know Lee Eaton might be listening out. Leonte,
He wants to be Leonte Wilder.
fucking Leonte Wilder, man,
He's undefeated.
the maddest
Oh,
hooker,
100% knockout.
the maddest hooker since the one that got caught with Hugh Grant in the early 90s. That's good work. I just made that up. Fucking natural. Yeah, main event in your weight class, Rich. We don't want to get you into any arguments because I know you're a very respectful gentleman. But did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I watched the fight. I watched it off Lee's
Lee's
Lee's live stream.
For anyone who doesn't know, Matt McCarthy, was he 17-1, I believe?
Yep.
Was against
That might have been 18.
20 mil.
Tony Milch, 13-0
13-0.
for the Southern Area title at York Hall. Matt McCarthy won by a 5th round stoppage, becoming the new Southern Area champion. What do we think of the fight, Rich?
I didn't see it, so Rich, you have to take this.
Lee's dodgy camera work didn't help, but to be fair, Matt looked well in control from the start. Tony is tough. He's been down the gym and sparred. Used to spar bar for a lot. He is tough, but he's very basic with just like straight shots. And I did say before the fight, Matt is more versatile with shot selection and stuff like that. They're both not big punchers. I was surprised they actually got stopped. I thought it was going to go all the way between them. 30 fights, something like 3 stoppages, something like that. But I thought it was going to go all the way. But I did think Matt's variety with winning the fight. I didn't expect a stoppage, but fair play to him. He got it. I think he stayed calm the first couple of rounds, figured him out, started to land big shots in 4, and then 5. I think the refs just stepped in.
Yeah, I like Matt.
I was surprised because I thought Tony, even if he was getting
You thought he'd be able to
overwhelmed,
go to 10.
I feel like he would be able to get through it. Yeah.
I like Matt. I said it before. I've interviewed him a few times, but I get on with him. I was speaking to him the day before. Was going to grab an interview and that, but he's got youth on his side, which Milch didn't have. Milch is what 30.
He's in his 30s. How old is Matt?
Matt's 23.
He's young.
Is he only 23?
Matt's 23.
Fucking hell, man.
And if that was the last, say maybe 24. That was 23. I looked at a lot. So the oldest he could possibly is 24. And you know he's been knocking around, and he's now got the Southern Area title. Congratulations to him. There's some good fights down the line. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, no, fair play to Matt, and Lee was there obviously with him, Team MTK.
I don't want to like fall out with people or anything like that, but it's kind of what I do on here. So
Not on the. You do it on Twitter. You don't do it on the podcast. What are you gonna do?
I'll fucking fight everybody. Listen, Matt McCarthy won that belt last night, and fair play to him. Like, you know, you can't argue with that. It was a good fight. You won the fight. You stopped the fight. For me, there comes a time where you cannot keep fighting journeyman all the time. If you're going to feed me somebody, and I'll say it, Jordan Gill is another example who's now been taken on by Dave Caldwell. Jordan Gill was presented to us as an 18-0 fighter or a 17-0 fighter, and then when I go through his record, I go, why 17 or 18 fights in 5 years into your career are you still fighting these guys? Not enough. So Matt McCarthy stopped 2 or 3 maybe. Jordan Gill's maybe stopped 6 or 7. Why are we still having these? There has to be a limit, and I don't know if that's a promoter just rinsing them for ticket money all the time.
Yeah, it's a good point,
but it's not good enough.
Is it age?
Do you think that would affect? Because he has got age on his time. He has got age on his side. Matt being really young, he has no reason to rush into these fights. He's managed to pick up the experience. Do you think that would affect ticket sales though? I think, because I always say this, I got my support, I have pretty good support, but if I continuously box journeymen, they'd get bored.
Yep.
They want to see fights, and now Al hates me for saying this. Obviously, your coach wants to see you box and be smart. The truth is, it's blood sport. People want to see blood, they want to see knockouts. My supporters don't. They obviously care, but they wouldn't care if it's me knocked out, him knocked out, me cut, them cut. They just want to see.
Let me make a point on Dan Keenan, right?
Like that.
So he went 6-1 last night at 20 years old. He's had 7 fights in 2 years.
Yep.
So there's a distinct possibility now that he'll have to go and do these learning fights again.
Not many though, all of them.
How many do you say you have? Another 6 or 7 before you realistically step him up again?
3.
It's possible. You think 3? It comes down to again promotional wise. Goodwin, his management, his promotion at 20 years old. Whether his trainers like fuck that, we're taking 2 years of you just going back to basics. In that time, he could knock up another 6 wins. He could be 12-1 at 21 or 22 years old. And it could be the same boat where you look at him and go, fuck me, he's 12-1, when's he going to... Do you know what I mean? So there's sides to it. You've got to get it right.
It's when you're ready as well.
It's when you're ready.
Like you said earlier about what you said about it's just building up the rounds. What's the point in fighting so many of them? Building up the rounds. But there does come a point where, at what point do you stop doing it? I'd like to think you only need 6, 7, maybe 8.
Yeah.
And then
I get bored, man. If I go there and I watch a guy like Matt McCarthy, and it's not disrespecting Matt McCarthy, but I get bored. If I look at his record and I go, oh, he's 12-0, he's beat 12 guys. Let's have a look at who he's fought, and they're all shit.
Would it make a difference to you if he was knocking them all out?
No, I wouldn't care because I would think it's the same way I view Bradley Skeet remaining at British level. I rate Bradley Skeet, but it's the same way I view that. Why are we staying there? Why are we doing that? And to an extent, I understand that when you're young, you don't have to rush things, but it doesn't mean you have to drag things out either. Because all you're doing is building up a lie for me. Yeah. And I spoke to you about it as well when I asked you earlier on. Is you fighting 10 of these guys really just the same as you fighting 2 of these guys? And if you take the rounds aspect out of it, which you made a good point, the rounds is a very good point.
4s to 6 to 8.
Yeah, but if you take that out of it, because I promise you,
if
Matt
all
McCarthy...
fights were 8 rounders or something, if every single fight was 8 rounders, there's no point fighting so many.
And Matt McCarthy is not fighting a different level of rounds every single time he fights. He's probably now settled on 8s or 10s, I would imagine. And I don't know how much he's learning from
this is the one. He's got the Southern Area now, hasn't he?
So and he fought an undefeated guy.
Now he's done that. Now he's done that. He's going to have guys chasing him. So
he has to crack on now.
He's going to have no choice. Yeah.
And in his head now, maybe he's got 17 fights, learning fights behind him. He feels better personally about it.
I think he got asked about the English, or he mentioned the English.
Yeah.
So maybe he want to move on to that, or he want to defend it a couple of times.
Who's the English champ?
Ted Cheeseman just did it, didn't he? Yeah, but what's he done now? He's gone and fought 2-0. So is the belt vacant? I don't fucking know. Who knows, man? But
it's weird. That is a weird one.
Byfield was obviously Southern Area. He gave that title up. Which is why McCarthy and Milch was made for that. So
the champion Byfield and Arthur.
I want to see Byfield.
2 champions before Matt won it were tough opponents.
Yeah.
Arthur, Byfield.
I want to see Byfield and Cheeseman. That's what I want to see.
That's a scrap.
A great fight.
You fancy Cheeseman, don't you?
I don't fancy him. He's not the best
No,
looking.
nobody fancies him. Fuck's sake.
Byfield's so awkward. Switch. I mean, we've gone way off track, but
Yeah.
that's a good fight down the line.
His movement's tremendous. Byfield.
And he got onto a British eliminator.
Yeah, he was supposed to, and then he got pulled out, and he got given a Hungarian.
Which is back to the whole point. Yeah.
That was on that Cyclone card last week.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
Bastard.
but listen, he's got quality, and he's getting a bit more exposure now. Anyway, we move on. Well done, Matt McCarthy. Hopefully, bigger and better things. Shout out to Lee.
Well,
Eaton.
shout out to Kieran McPherson.
Did he get knocked out and break a leg as well?
No. He had his debut and he won it and he boxed really well and everyone was really proud of him. So.
Well done, Kieran, mate.
It was a nice one.
Well done to the gym rat, Kieran McPherson.
Shout out Kieran McPherson if you've made it this deep into the podcast.
We've gone down a lot of rabbit
Find
holes.
out what time you're
If
on.
I tell him
Rabbit holes. He's got a rabbit toad on his ass.
if I tell Kieran he's in it, but I won't tell him when he's in it, he's gone. This is the whole thing.
Yeah.
We better make it worthwhile. Kieran, I hope you had a really good night, mate. And we look
Congratulations.
We look forward to seeing you out again, mate. Nah, congrats, well played. Let's move on. One more topic and then a few questions, and then we're going to eat some chicken, I believe.
My missus had that chicken in the oven for hours. She's so angry.
It'd be like
She's
the
so
burgers you made at the
so
barbecue
angry.
then, wouldn't they?
Shut your mouth, Richie Gray.
She has. Mrs. O'Reilly just came in the room and said, "They're in the fucking oven." So we know where they are at least.
I'm usually at this point in the podcast listening where you're talking about having Chinese and Iron Bro.
Yes.
Yes.
This is actually a nice. This is a nice change to the end of the podcast. It's chicken and beer instead of Chinese and
Yes.
Iron Bro.
Yes.
Just live on the edge.
Don't fool yourself. I might still have Chinese on the way home. Yeah, let's move on. Friday night, the 20th of October, we have the inaugural, good word, means first, just in case you didn't know that, Haymaker Ringstar Show, which is going to be on at the O2. What's the little venue called again?
Indigo 2.
Indigo 2, headlined by Joe Joyce against Ian Lewison. Tough fight.
Yep.
What'd you make of that card, Richie?
Rich 10 round fight for a debut.
Yeah, that is and Ian Lewison ain't a journeyman. He's a live opponent. He's had some big fights. A lot of people think he's more talented than what he's done. He's underachieved, if you like, because he hasn't trained the way he should. But he's massively talented, but underachieved. Joe Joyce has done massively well in the amateurs, but it is different. I think it's a risky fight for them, but surely they're not going to put their man in a fight they don't think he can win. And if he does win, he's chasing up other people straight away.
If he wins, he's top 15 in the country.
Straight away.
It might even be higher. I can't
And
remember
he
the exact
deserves it.
number.
Yeah,
He deserves it.
that,
And then they'll give him one more fight, and then he'll fight for the British in his third fight.
I know it's quick, but he deserves it. If he beats someone like
He's
Ian
30
Lewis,
years old, man.
if he beats someone like Ian Lewis in his debut, he deserves to be up there. Like that is.
Do you think he can? I think he beats Sam Sexton in his third fight.
Sam Sexton's a fucking
He's our
fat
British
farmer,
champion,
man. He's a waste.
That's horrific. Our British champion is Sam Sexton, who's
He's
fucking
a fat
horrendous.
farmer. Listen, for me, the only thing with Joe Joyce is the intensity.
He's nice, and he's too nice.
No, not even that. Not even that. I mean, the difference in intensity between amateur and professional, and I think you probably know better than me, or you do know better than me, Richie. Amateurs, previously, when Joe Joyce started doing it, before they changed it, because now it's 10-9s, isn't it? It's like a 10-point must now.
Scoring, yeah.
But previously it was point-based, wasn't it? So it wasn't as intense, it wasn't as ferocious unless you were trailing on points or you were losing on points and you had to come and fight for the victory. Is there a chance that when he steps into the professional ring and he's fighting Ian Lewison, who's a very, very live opponent, he's an aggressive, come-forward fighter, is there a chance that he wouldn't be ready for that level of intensity, fighting such a high-level opponent?
He could get caught off guard, and Ian Lewison will know that. He'll know that, right. You get trained as you change from amateur to pro. It's going to be a little bit more settled. It's more about accuracy than it is about numbers. Hit him clean, hit him hard rather than hit him 25 times.
Yeah.
Make the punches count. He's going to have to make that transition. Ian Lewison's going to know that, right, this kid's sort of making his transition now. He's got a lot more experience than him. He might try and rush him straight away and put it on him straight away and catch him off like that.
It's a tough fight.
It's a very tough fight for a debut.
It's a good fight, though.
I was surprised.
I fancy Joyce. I think.
But Joyce is a big puncher.
I think he'll win this. They'll then get him someone else slightly ranked above Lewison, and then I think he wins the British in his third fight. You heard it here first.
Because he's hungry and he's up for it, I feel like Joyce will push more for it. As Ian Lewison, I feel like because he's been a bit divvied in and out a little bit lately,
Yeah.
he's not really pushing anymore. I feel like he's kind of maybe not the end of his career. I don't know, is that unfair to say? I don't know how old he is.
He's mid-30s, isn't he?
But he's not a
He's
spring
late
chicken
30s.
anymore, and he's done quite a lot already. So maybe because he's done so much already, he's just thinks, yeah, I love that fight.
And I think even if he wins, what does he actually gain from winning?
Who?
Lewison.
Exposure, money.
Yeah, no, but exposure and money when you're 38 or 39 and you're not really in the best position.
What's more important than money though? You're cashing out.
What's more important than money
Take
at this
your
stage
cash
of
out
your career?
But he's going to get money anyway.
Not this money though. This is.
This
Well,
money.
then again,
He's
it's
getting
not.
this money if he wins or loses. That's my point.
Yeah.
So he's getting this money for the fight
If he
regardless,
wins,
right?
he's the guy that
That's the
took
reason.
Joe
to take the
Joyce
fight.
off the hype train, isn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, reason for being up for winning and training properly and stuff like that, because he's not with Haymaker, he's not with a big promoter, so...
Yeah.
I don't think it matters to him whether he wins or loses. Obviously, you're going to be there to win, but get the money. Yeah, he might become a stepping stone for a few fighters.
Yeah.
If he wants to be, I'm not saying he does want to be that way, but he might think, what's he got?
Possible.
They must have offered him some serious money to take it. Cause you think,
Well, they offered it to Dave Allen.
They did offer it to Dave
They
Allen.
offered it to Dave Allen. He said no, thank you.
Yeah, Dave Allen.
Didn't offer him enough, or he just thought, no, what's the point?
He
What
said
do I
that
get out
fight's
of it?
not for me. Yes,
What do I get out
exactly.
of
Yeah,
It's not worth
Dave
it.
Allen's what, 25 years old.
Yeah.
So it's slightly different, isn't it?
Yeah.
12, 13 years on him and Lewison or whatever it is. Slightly different stages of the career. So
Question on this from UK Boxing Fan 6. Shout out UK Boxing Fan 6, always active on Twitter. Thanks for the question, mate. With this sort of competition, the World Boxing Series, you know that amateur one?
oh yeah.
Where they don't use head guards
Where
and stuff?
Usyk and
I
Lomachenko.
think I went to the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
first one of them.
Yeah, so Joe Joyce was in there, Fowler was in there, they're fighting guys from all over the place in what is essentially like an entry into the pros in it. There's no headgear,
Yeah.
there's all that sort of stuff. With this sort of competition in the WBS, should Fowler, Joyce, Cordina, all these guys, should they all just be fast tracked?
Yes.
Is the question.
What if they've gone through that?
Yep.
As in, you've already got professional experience.
Yep.
So you don't need to do.
So should Fowler be fighting Hungarians
They're
and
doing 5
Bulgarians?
threes, aren't they?
Yeah,
So what's the point of going to do 4 threes?
yeah,
So they might as well step up to. Yeah, I think they should not even bother with 4s. What's the point?
yeah.
You're going to step up from boxing world class amateurs in 5 threes to then go in boxing Trisno from Hungary who's had 14 fights, 1-1.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
4 threes, which are probably going to knock him out. Yeah, get a tougher opponent, do 6 rounders, move a bit faster. 1 or 2 6 rounders, 1 6 rounder,
Yeah.
1 8 rounder, and then get them straight into a more seasoned
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
pro, as in a 10-0, 12-1 kind of opponent.
Yeah.
Who's not done it the hard way and had to get up to that point.
Yeah. Who's ever been fast tracked more than Lomachenko in the pro game? Is there anyone? Can we think of?
Didn't something like Frazier's son box for a world title in like his 9th fight?
Marvin
Lomachenko-
Frazier or
Marvin
something.
What
Frazier.
fight was it? Lomachenko.
And he got
So,
second.
second.
And he got beat.
He got beat in the. It was Salido, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a
So did
rough.
Frazier,
it was
though, he got
tough.
done as well.
Yeah.
Now that's a prime example of the transition between amateur and pro.
Yeah.
Fighting amateur against boys and then fighting Salido, just got to rough you up all night long, man.
Yeah.
50, 60 fights deep already. And then he won a world title in his 3rd fight, and he won a 2nd world title in a 2nd world
Lomachenko's not a
weight
boxer,
class.
is he? He's just the Matrix. He doesn't
He's-
see fighters. He, just sees, he sees numbers.
He's going to New York for Lomachenko,
He
isn't
sees
he?
numbers and digits
I know.
and files.
Yeah. Yeah. He downloads it all by
You
the
jab
time.
when he says you jab.
Crazy.
Shuts his eyes.
You land a shot when you touch gloves. That's it. When he boxes, who's that guy? He's
Rigondeaux.
boxing. Yeah, when
He's
they
going
box,
to New York for
who's,
it, man.
Who's going to land a punch? Is anyone going to get hit?
I'll let you know.
It's going to be a draw. No one's going
From
to get
ringside.
I'll let you know from ringside.
From
I'll be
ringside
there.
in New
hit. That's
York.
an awful fight. No one's going to get hit.
Oh,
Great
shut up,
No
you.
one's going to get hit.
Oh, behave.
Who's going to land a punch?
I'm not even going to look at their hands. I'm just going to look at their feet the whole time and be like, good feet. Good feet.
No one's going to get punched in that fight.
It's a hell of a technical battle. I think it could be a stinker if you're a casual fan, but if you're a purist, I think it'll be nice to watch.
I want Jazza Dickens to get the winner.
Jazz.
Big up Jazza Dickens.
Remember Jazza Dickens
Fought Rigondeaux.
literally sold his jawbones to fight Rigondeaux and left
Crazy.
with half a face.
That man deserved it. He
Poor
gets.
Jazza
I think he
Dickens.
gets the rematch of Rigondeaux if he
Fuck.
wins.
Did he not lose recently
I don't
for a
know.
British title? Anyway,
I don't know. Let's stop digressing. Let's get out of here. I need chicken.
right, couple of questions coming in hard and fast, like Harvey Weinstein.
Can't say that.
Too much? Can't say that. Right.
You can't say that.
Why?
We're gonna get sued again.
I meant his films and his productions and stuff.
Okay, yeah, not the fact that he's getting accused
Fucking
of molesting
hell.
women all over the fucking world.
I was talking about the production company. Right. One question from Seven Wolves. Why don't boxers fight out of different cities to build their profile, as London is so congested fight-wise?
When I saw that, it has to be. It can't. Like small hall obviously doesn't work. You sell your tickets to your mates, but I guess he's talking about the Eddie Hearn fighters, the matchroom
Yeah.
fighters.
Yeah.
He's done it to an extent before, hasn't he? Joshua was all around Britain
Yeah.
before he fought up in Scotland. He came
That's a
out
one-off, though,
I
isn't
would look back. So they hauled him about. They did it with Conor Benn for a little bit, but there are other fighters that should be fighting on small smaller shows around the country getting an
Doesn't always
audience
make sense,
off television.
Doesn't always make sense, because I'm a home fighter, I'm selling tickets, why do I need to go there? You live in Scotland, you can't sell tickets, come to me.
Do you get less money if you're going to a different city because you're not relying on your own ticket sales, do you think?
Because you're the away fighter, you'll get paid anyway.
What if you're in the away corner but you
you're not-
sell some tickets?
No, I was going to say, you'd still be the home fighter, right? Josh Kelly
I
went
don't
to
want to
Scotland.
go. I don't want to go to
Yeah.
Scotland with a home fighter, because I'm not going to be able to get all my supporters to go like there. I'd sell so much more back in Essex.
But the argument is that you're going to gain the supporters, isn't it?
You're gonna gain
a
followers.
bit of a following.
But if you're on television, you can get away with that because you're getting paid by your big promoter anyway. I guess some sort of.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
It's,
You do very well to pick up
Anthony
support, though.
Fowler's career or his ticket sales aren't going to be based on his Liverpool area. It's going to be based on people around the country buying his tickets. If he gets a world title fight in London, he's going to get Londoners go to watch him as well as his scousers that will buy tickets anyway, I guess. So that's got to be the only reason, is the fact that big promoters, they like to keep their areas. Why are you going to send your Belfast fighter over here to fight when you want that Belfast market to itself?
I guess it guarantees you a big sale on a show.
Ryan
doesn't it?
Burnett is fighting in Belfast. You bring him to London, you may have just lost the Belfast show for another 6 months where you can haul
With
that
that
out.
said, why would you want me on your show when I'm not going to sell as many tickets? Yes, I might say I want to come to your area so I can build up some support. What's your motivation to have me on your show? You've got to pay me.
I just like you. I think you're a nice guy, and I'd like to have you there.
If only promoters were like that. I just like you, Rich. I just want
Here's
you
a
on the
bonus
show.
just for being
It's money
nice.
just for coming on the show. Don't
Well,
worry
the
about tickets.
thing is, I think they would only do it if you were their home fighter and they wanted to build a brand around you, right?
Yeah.
So you look at
You could
Joshua.
fight an MTK Scotland.
If MTK did Scotland, they said, right, Rich, you can come to Scotland. Don't worry about selling tickets. Don't worry about any bills. All you got to do is turn up and fight.
You're the home
yes,
fighter.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I
There
would do
you
it
go.
every day of the week. I'd go to every town, every few weeks and fight if I didn't have to sell tickets.
Do you think the reason that people don't do that and promoters don't do that is because they don't, not really don't believe in the fighter, but they don't think every fighter has the ability to capture that audience?
Yes, that's a good way of putting
It's
it.
hard to be entertaining every time as well.
Because someone like Joshua is always going to be capturing audiences, right? Because he's just blasting people out. He looks like a fucking model. So he was always going to gather an audience wherever he fought, Newcastle, Scotland, wherever else. But with someone like Anthony Fowler, who really splits opinion, Anthony Fowler, a lot of people don't like him, a lot of people do like him. He's more of a risk, so he's maybe better sticking on a Liverpool show or whatever.
Yeah.
Building a proper support third base and then moving along when he's on a big show when he can sell it with the other fights.
Richie Gray just did the best disguised yawn I've ever seen. He actually done it through a sentence. It was really well done.
I think we're boring him, mate.
Oh, I've been here for hours. Fuck's sake. When are you going to unlock the door? 2 more questions and then we're out for some chicken. Another one. Both of them are from Terry Chap and Dama, 7 Rules Boxing. Get following those guys. Great stuff. Great.
What was that?
What was that?
Sound like fucking Tony the Tiger over here. What boxer actually makes money off their social media presence? I think Anthony Fowler's a good shout to discuss. Not that he would make money off it, but he is a massive force on social media.
That's how you pick up sponsors.
Yeah.
Things like
Cool.
that, that's
I'll tell you who does. O'Hara Davis makes it on his social media because people pay to see him lose. He's provocative. He says things that gets people's backs up. So when he's fighting in Liverpool, I'm going to see that prick get knocked out, and it's putting money in his pocket, it's putting money in his promoter's pocket. So I'd say O'Hara Davis is a good example of that. To the positive side, who does it and puts money by picking up sponsors, like you said? Would you say your social media helps with that, Rich?
massively. Without social media, where that's the main source of where you get your best audience for someone like me when I'm usually not on TV. With these guys that are on TV every single fight, their social media is probably irrelevant. You're going to get your advert when I'm on TV, whereas people like me who are on the small hall shows, social media is bread and butter for getting sponsors involved.
Is that something you've had to use more since you turned over from amateur to professional? Was that something you've had to try and incorporate a little bit more as you've kind of realised and grew a bit smarter in the game? Like, I need to start using this Instagram a little bit more.
100%.
Or I'll call it Richie Gray Official so people think I'm famous and all that sort of stuff.
I didn't have Instagram, I didn't have Snapchat, didn't have anything like that. It was actually one of my sponsors who made me get all these other social medias and made me name them all Richie Gray Official, so then they're all easy to find, so exactly the same.
Intelligent. People aren't doing this enough.
It's marketing,
There's
innit?
people that don't use Twitter.
If your name is Richie Gray 1797462 / biscuit, like, who's going to find that? Who's going to remember that?
Yeah.
So when it's Richie Gray Official, it's
Simple.
Snapchat, it's everything. So then everyone can think it's easy to find. This is
And do you
marketing.
manage that yourself? Because we know a lot of companies that do it for other people and stuff like that. Do you manage all your accounts yourself?
Yeah, I've got a website as well, but he does all that. The guy Glenn from Advance has his team do all that.
So if anybody gets any dodgy pictures for your Twitter, that is you that's doing that.
That's definitely me.
Definitely.
Did we get any picture of the rabbit?
Why didn't I take a photo of it?
Just remember the little lost rabbit that left the Gray household. That's what it's in memory of. So just bear that in mind. Yeah, boxers and social media is a tricky one now because it's becoming a bigger part of the sport.
I'm not a fan of everyone live streaming things. I think when
Yeah.
boxers are trying to sell tickets and they say, "Yeah, we're going to live stream it," you do yourself out of tickets. Because
Yeah.
now some people will say, "Actually, don't bother buying a ticket. You'll live stream it."
I'll stream it for the pub, or I'll do this.
Stream
Or
for
do
the
that.
pub. Go to
Yeah,
the pub with the boys. Save yourself a bit of money. So
yeah,
you
that's
can't-
true.
But it does take away the atmosphere. It's not the same when you're not there. Obviously, you want to be there. But some
Yeah.
people will not buy tickets because they can just watch it on their phone.
It's a fact.
Some boxers need to be a bit smarter about that and stop advertising. If it's on TV, advertise it. If
What
it's
about
on Facebook, don't.
mates rates?
Oh,
Do you ever get people ask you for mates rates on your tickets, Rich?
people do.
Sam
ask.
Hamill, is that why you punched him? Is that why
People
Weighing
do. They
him
say
in.
people say mates rates, and I think if you're my mate, wouldn't you give me a tip? Like, I pretty much put my life on the
pay me
line.
more?
I'm pretty much put my life on the line for
give-
your entertainment.
Yeah.
And you want me to give you a discount? Everyone's your bet. Oh, come on,
You're
come
gonna
on,
do.
mates,
You're gonna
we're
turn
mates.
up to their shift and say, "I'm taking some of your money." Just
What if,
'cause
what if
you're
your
my
boss said, "Come on, do you want to do half pay shift? We'll pay you for half a shift today.
Yeah.
Do a full day, we'll give you half a shift." Would you do that, Steve? Would you do that, Steve?
mate. Fucking
Hook 'em
Steve.
up. Mates rates.
Nah, that's
Do you think
terrible.
that happens a lot? In your experience, does that happen a
They
lot?
say it in a jokey way, but they want you to give it to them.
They're really your mates, mate. I sold 100 tickets for my fucking white collar debut. They're your mates. They're gonna come to see
You
you.
got 100 mates.
I sold 20.
You'll do it at
They-
acquaintance
they all
rates.
brought friends. Mate, I got a poster. Have you had a poster yet? Look at my poster up there. Look, fuck you.
You look a bit different in that, Sam.
It was about 4 stone ago when I could fight.
Who
No,
cropped that head onto that body? Look.
that was my 6-pack. I had it for one night.
That was the guy that ran his social media account.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you do get people say, "Listen,
That's
mate, so I can't really afford it. Can you help me out?" It's like, listen, this is my job.
Yeah.
I work 4 or 5 days a year.
I just wouldn't ask.
These are the 5
Nah,
days
can
of
you
the year I
imagine
get
the cheap
paid.
of it?
Yeah, exactly.
I get paid
exactly.
5 days a year. You get paid every week or every month.
Mm.
You ask me for a discount. You ask me to do my job for cheaper, and it's not the easiest of job. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It's
not
really-
at all.
So I think it's unfair when people do it. If I'm
Yes,
honest.
very unfair.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never knew that happened. I never even thought about that, to be fair. Mates rates. Okay, last question. We're nearly there, boys. Are we now in an era, again, Seven Wolves Boxing, are we now in an era where people trust box rec over their own eyes?
Oh shit!
Good question, right?
But in what context are we talking
I imagine
about? Records?
I imagine the context would be wherever you land on a box rec rating, which we know is mathematically calculated.
Yeah.
Do people just take that
It's
as
a good point. Do you remember what I showed? I sent you that picture the other day.
the
Hosea Burton,
yeah,
ranked
Hosea Burton.
above. Was it Isaac at cruiserweight? I can't remember.
It was
There's
above
a lot
Iqbal.
of dodgy rankings.
It was-
There are rankings though. I look at board and think he would get smashed to pieces by this other guy.
Yeah.
Let's
Rankings,
talk about
rankings are horseshit.
Let's talk about box rec, because box rec, it's a good question. Box rec are the only rankings in it, whether you like it or you don't like it. This is facts. They're the only ranking system that do not use human input. That's the facts. So they do not use, let's all sit around a table, and if I'm mates with Eddie Hearn and he's mates with Frank Warren,
We'll put Paul Smith in at number 3.
Yeah, we'll stick Paul Smith in at number 3 and we'll put somebody in the WBO for Frank Warren.
Yeah.
Box rec removes all of that 100%, and so does the IBO, because the IBO rankings are box rec. They're in a partnership with box rec. So what it does is, do you know how it works, Rich?
There's a point scoring system.
Yeah,
Each
so-
opponent's worth a certain amount of points.
Exactly. So opponents work the way you finish a fight, how long it goes on, where they were ranked previously, all that sort of stuff is worth points for anybody that doesn't know. And that's how you get a box rec ranking. So there's no human input. No one is sitting there going, fucking get him out the rankings and put Luke Campbell in. It's not like that. And that's why I
Nothing you
like
can do about
it.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I like that to an extent, because I think it's fair and it's honest and it's not people who can meddle based on money. But then there's also the shortcomings of the system, which is the sums don't always make sense. So Jeff Horner's in the pound for pound box rec rankings right now, which is insane. But it's all based on these algorithms, do you know what I mean? So
That's what I meant when I said like some of the boys that are ranked higher than others wouldn't beat them. Obviously they've earned the points to get there.
Yeah.
Technically they've earned the points, but then I could box 150 journeymen, getting 1 point off all of them, and end up ranked number 1? Could I? 'Cause I've got
No, I don't think so, because I think the journeyman would be worth less points.
Yeah, no, you could box 2 fights, end up with the same points as me boxing 20 fights.
Yeah.
If I consistently just kept boxing,
Yeah.
all these shit opponents and gathered up 2 points at a time, could that get me in a rank number 10, rank in the top 10?
Are you up for it? If you would do
it,
if it works.
Let's line up hundreds of journeymen and I'll fight all of them in one day.
365 days a
They've
year.
all got to lose, and I'm going to nick a point off all of them.
Where are you on BoxRec?
About 60 or something like
Let's
that.
look it up.
Let's
I'm
have
going to
a
look
look.
up Richie Gray on BoxRec right
What,
now.
in the country or in Britain, the world?
In the country.
In my world.
Yeah.
Richie Gray world.
Richie Gray, based on mathematics only. Richie Gray.
Bearing in mind 5-0.
Richie Gray boxer underneath it's Richie Gray's salary. Interesting.
It's probably not what I am, mate. That's the rugby player.
Oh, you look young in that picture. And a bit weight drained.
That's from my debut.
Is that?
Yeah.
Richie Gray's box rec does not look like him.
Richie Gray is... There's 109 boxers your weight in the UK, and you are ranked 65th.
They've got me ranked at middleweight, but I'm going to fight super middleweight for non-journeyman fights.
1500...
Sorry, super
Super
welter.
welter, there you
Super
go.
welter.
Ah.
I thought you stepping
So
up.
they've got me ranked at middleweight in that, but I'm going to be fighting.
Alright, so it's not correct either, because the weight's different. Because obviously if you don't make championship weight...
Yeah, they're ranking me at middleweight, where I'm actually going to be fighting championship fights at light middle, so it will be different.
Okay. But it's interesting how it works. Terry's point is, people looking at... Do you think now people are looking at BoxRec more than they are looking at... And I think that probably links into the
boxing.
Yeah, it links into the whole casual aspect of fans now, doesn't it? There's a casual fan look at a boxer on BoxRec and go, he must be really good, as opposed to trying to process a fight and understand a fight.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
You think so?
Okay, if you look at it from that perspective, the casual fan, well, fuck me, Anthony Yards beat another one ranked in the top 15 with WBO. But we all know we're begging him for actually to fight someone of any quality. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, but it does. People that don't know boxing say, oh, he's boxing this guy he's 15-0. Yeah, but that doesn't really mean anything until he's boxed someone.
I guess that could happen anywhere other than BoxRec as well, couldn't it? You could look at anybody with a
Do you know
record.
what a great example of this is Danny Connor. Look how many losses he's got in his record.
Yeah.
He's been to 2 prize fighter finals, and he's boxed for an English title about 400 times.
One in
But
Southern
he's boxed so many contenders. He's got quite a few losses. They're all early on in his career when he wasn't really taking the game serious. And he's only really lost since he really turned his career around. He's only really lost to contenders. Now, a casual look at his record and go, yeah, but he's lost like 8 fights.
Yeah.
what is he,
Not really-
15-8 or something?
Something like that, yeah. But it's not fair to look
When is
at
he fighting next? He's got a fight coming up.
Doncaster for
Maxi Hughes.
When is it?
Maxi Hughes.
End of the month?
End of November.
Oh, is it? Okay.
November, yeah.
Yeah.
So casual would look at someone like that on BoxRec and think, oh, he's rubbish. But he's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when the first time I ever see Danny box was when he boxed Chris Evangelou, and I did exactly the same at the time. Chris Evangelou was 9-0, only 1 stoppage. Danny Connor was something like 8-4. And I thought, let's watch this quick before we go, because he's about to get knocked out really quick. Danny beat him.
Yeah.
Then they had a rematch a little while later, and Danny beat him again.
Yeah.
So BoxRec doesn't tell the story.
Yeah.
No, that's true. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I think BoxRec is good in certain aspects and it's fair, and that's why I love the IBO. Shout out to my best mate Ed Levine, the president of the IBO.
Dines off it, the cunt dines off it. Me and
saying-
Ed go way back.
I'm just saying,
Didn't
Ed,
come to your barbecue, did he, mate? I got Richie Gray at mine.
shout out to Ed Levine always, and Burnt Burgers. Yeah, are we done?
I think we're done, man. I think that's it. I think we've been here hours.
It was actually late when we started, and now it's dark.
God
and
knows
shit.
how long. When we cut all this together,
I've got training in 20 minutes.
I gotta go to work. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but pleasure having you, Mr. Richie Gray.
Anything
Weather.
else from you, Mr. Gray? When can we expect you out again?
December the 2nd.
December
back on MTK.
2nd. Is that going to be in Essex again?
Yeah, it's back at the
Brentwood.
Brentwood Centre, yeah.
Good. And people can get you on Richie Gray Official.
Everywhere.
On absolutely any social
And you
media.
pick up tickets
Streamline.
off him. He does them cheap for his mates.
Yeah, I do mates rates.
You buy 4, you get 8 free or something like that.
You know what I
Richie,
did do to my friends on that point? I did actually say to my friends, if they can sell 15 tickets to their mates, I'll give them a ticket.
that's pretty fair.
And that's why I don't have to run around 200 tickets, because I have a couple of people that say they get a ticket and anything they want, and they run around handfuls.
They do all your tickets for you.
Yeah.
Ah,
I sell
that's a
about
good
5
idea.
tickets. All my mates do the rest.
Nice.
You heard it from Richie. Gives the tickets to his mate. Go and sell some on, and you get. That's not a bad idea.
Make the system work for you,
Richie
boxers.
Gray
Make
Official.
the system
You
work
heard
for
it here
you.
first. You're welcome, guys.
This has been the Fight Talk podcast. Thanks
Peace.
thanks for listening.